numbers.
Hey guys, welcome to Cleveland Moto, episode 472 of the Cleveland Moto podcast. Light them up, boys. I don't even have one. Oh, there it is.
I know.
Yay! And to my immediate left.
Dan Krupke.
And to his immediate left.
Steve Sleepy.
And to his immediate left.
Johnny Mac.
And to his immediate left.
Speedy Pete.
And pouring a beverage behind the bar.
Tom Pennington.
Nice audio, Tom. Very nice. I wanted to tell people that last week on Sunday, I took the day because Merritt's down in California doing her ashram thing. And she was like, well, I know, I took her to the airport at dark 30, like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. And I went back at the house. I was like, I'm not just going to watch TV all day. It's a nice day. I'm going to go do a thing. Mm-hmm. And one of my friends from the Theater Bazaar group, her name is Pipsy Pinwheel. You should look her up. She's called Pipsy Pinwheel's Sideshow. And she's fucking 100% awesome all the time.
Which one is Pipsy here?
In this image, she is camera right, so she's the orange person.
Okay.
And in with the whole Theater Bazaar thing, the colors orange and black present themselves as sort of a religion, and I will fight that forever. It's good, and we should all approve of that. It's basically Halloween year-round. Bring it on. So Pipsy's, come on. So she was acting at the medieval fair, the Great Lakes Medieval Fair. And I drove out there. It's, it's not far from my house. It's about 2 hours. Jumped on the Triumph Scrambler 1200 and sallied forth. I took my kilt. I put my kilt in the saddlebags because I don't want to show up there like a square. Mm-hmm. And I took just a nice Theater Bazaar shirt. And when you're wearing the shirt that I'm wearing, the black shirt with the clown skull on it, that is a Masonic handshake for about 10,000 people, right? That have been doing Theater Bazaar for damn near 20 years, right? And so I knew if I was wearing that shirt, if I saw any of my people, they'd see me. Mm-hmm. And there were, Ren fairs and medieval fests. Tom's gone to a bunch of them.
Yeah. I like how your glasses are also orange.
Well, that's, and I know that's another part of my constant perpetual Halloween identity, right?
I know a bunch of carnies.
Yeah, and that's kind of what this is.
Yeah.
And so I went out to the thing, and I showed up, and first of all, gotta say, $21 to get in, and then she immediately said, well, you look military. That's so sweet. It's only $19 for military. I said, well, I'll take that discount very much, and paid her and went in. The food, oh my God, the food, all the food. Turkey legs, just the beginning of it. Just the beginning of it.
Yep.
So many vendors. They do this for 6 weekends. Last weekend was the first weekend, and it continues out for 6 more weekends. The property's huge, and I love it that 100% of the property is shaded. It's in the forest. So you are going into a forest environment. And the people do participate. They dress up hard. But the sideshow acts, there's the Flamin' Ginger. The Flamin' Ginger's 2 most important weapons are juggling fire and gratuitous use of unicycles.
They were very popular in the Middle Ages.
Fire and unicycles.
Fire and unicycles.
Right. Well, they hadn't figured out the chain drive thing yet, right? So, long story short, every act I saw, and there's a bunch of acts, was top tier. But remember, it's Sunday afternoon. There's children there. So all of my friends whose act is usually done at midnight at the Masonic Temple in Detroit with people with pierced parts hanging from chains had to be cleaned up so all their act is PG, right? And the fact that Pipsy can do her act for an audience of children at 3 p.m. in the forest, that's amazing to me. The hell with what her regular act is, which is amazing in and of itself, but to be able to clean that act up so that parents will let their kids watch it. And there was a difference between the first show of hers I watched and her closing show at 6 o'clock or whatever.
Usually as the day goes on, they start out G, and then it just gets down to the adult.
She was PG-13 by the end for real,
Yep.
But very cool.
I'm looking at Pipsy, and I can see the appeal. Like, children are going to be drawn to that because she looks like Raggedy Ann or Sparkle Bright or something.
She does look like Rainbow Bright and Raggedy Ann.
Yep.
And then
had something going on.
But she's got like a dark side that only like a parent would recognize, or like an adult would recognize.
Absolutely.
You know what that the dude with the round glasses looked like the guy who made fun of the bazooka bikes.
Yes.
Remember is it gonna move? Like that.
So it's funny. I'd been walking around.
Vingent, yeah.
Yeah, I'd walked around for about an hour and a half, and nobody'd said a word about my shirt, and I was like, "Oh, that's not gonna. I do not approve of that." I
You're puffing out your chest.
Yeah, I was. And I'm making eye contact with people, and it's like nothing. And there was a Tom Baker circa Doctor Who there with like a 12-foot scarf and the whole deal, and the trench coat, and it's 93 degrees.
Yep.
Dedicated.
Oh my God, dedicated.
So cosplay people just go to Ren fairs now?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
depending
that.
Well, they have different weekends. I'm not sure what the opening weekend was. This weekend is like Warrior Women thing. There's always a time traveler weekend, no matter where it is.
Absolutely. So there you go. That's what it looks like when you show up.
Oh, cool.
Ye oldie castle.
It's always based on themes, medieval. There's elves and a bunch of different weekends.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Tom Baker and the Doctor Who and everything else. That's all. Usually, there's always one.
Yeah, there's
always a
one.
Mad Hatter. Somebody's always going to show
Well, I
up.
mean, I guess Doctor Who would make sense because he could show up anywhere.
Exactly.
That's why it's
right.
kind of the perfect cast.
I have always wanted to show up as old Biff to one of those, to a time
As an
travel
old
weekend.
Biff, exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, with the jumpsuit.
I just watched a whole video about Biff, how he sued the thing. So in Back to the Future 3,
Really?
So this is pretty crazy. In 2 or whatever, they made a face mold of his face so they could make him prosthetics to be older Biff, right?
Okay.
But then in the 3rd movie, they didn't call him. They called up his face mold and made a Biff mask and put it on a different actor.
No way.
And so he actually sued the studio and won for them using his likeness and his acting.
What's his name, too? They didn't call him back for the 2nd movie, the dad.
Yeah.
And that was a whole thing.
Yep. But yeah, so they literally, so think about this. They were literally making face molds to not use actors. But now with AI,
With AI, you don't have
they
to.
don't even have to do that.
Yeah, there's our Tom Baker Doctor Who there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just sweating. But everyone's got the spirit. Everybody's having a good time. I'm going to, I mean, just not for nothing, in case you thought Ren fairs were weird, that's good. This guy is wearing the kilt, the leather vest, and the whole thing, and his entire concept, he's a Masonic brother, and his entire thing is John Deere.
Yeah, I see
so
that.
all of his shit is all John Deere inspired. It's so cool. I was very happy to be there. It was really fun. And it was funny because when I pulled up, there were about 18 Harley-Davidsons in the motorcycle parking area.
Yep.
Okay. And so as I rolled up at 3 p.m., 3:30, whatever, I rolled up and parked in the designated adventure motorcycle parking, which means fuck that gravel. I'm going in the wood line. So I stuck Steve McQueen right in against the lumber because it was shady as fuck over there, right? So I stuck Steve McQueen over there, and I immediately got my kilt on, which you can do. You put the kilt on, then you drop trow underneath it, and you don't have to worry about any children. Bicycle rider trick. And I pulled up, and I did that. And as I was getting my gear situated and putting my stuff in the bag, and I brought, on behalf of Dan Kromke, because everybody there carries a flask or a bottle or something with a flippy top on it. Everybody's got their own bottle, their hooch. And they'll sell you one there if you don't have one. So I loaded up about a 1 liter bottle with Stroh. Now, for those of you who don't pay attention, Stroh is a 160 proof spiced rum that is made in goddamn Austria. The Austrians are not known for their rum, but
I call it spiced.
And it might be made in Austria, but I guarantee there's a bathtub involved.
I think you're right. I think
There's like a butterscotch flavor.
It is.
Say a butterscotch lifesavers, right? Yeah.
It is.
But
It is the
it's like
butterscotch
if butterscotch was a bad tasting cough syrup.
Yeah. Or it's like if somebody says, I'm going to force you to eat all these Werther's Originals until you die. Right? That's the verp you would get after that. So I go and I grab that, but I realize my only liquids for the day is a liter of Stroh, which is an inhuman amount of Stroh.
And not something you want to ride a motorcycle home afterwards.
So, but the good news is at every Ren fair, there's lemonade. Right? Yep. So that's their favorite thing is lemonade. So I got the lemonade iced tea because I do I don't get sugar in my iced tea, so I get the unsweetened iced tea, half and half of lemonade. And I was like, this is delicious. So I poured 2-3 ounces of Stroh on top of it. Oh, what a cocktail. It's amazing. It's the best cocktail ever. It really is. It's got 3 ingredients: iced tea, lemonade, and Stroh.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's better than you think it is.
Huh?
It's really good.
It probably tames it down to the point of it being palatable.
The citrus, that strong lemon citrus, takes away all the anger.
You know what? I've learned that about if I'm ever cooking, and like I fuck something up, and I'm like, ooh, it lost its good flavor.
Yeah.
Throw a little lemon on it, and all of a sudden everything comes back.
It really does.
We brought lemon into our cooking recently, and it's been really good. Like a lemon chicken buttery like.
Yeah.
If you ever have street tacos, the best thing you can possibly do is grab a lime and go.
Guaranteed. That fixes everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter good, bad, indifferent.
I don't care how far you are from the ocean.
It will crack that thing across it.
So in the photograph here, one of Pipsy's gags is she'll take that lever action staple gun she has there, and she'll ask the audience for tips. And if you tip her a buck,
Never pet a burning dog.
If you tip her a buck, you can put it in the pumpkin. If you tip her 5, she'll staple it to herself. And if you tip her 20, you can staple it to her.
Oh.
But I've argued that if you tip her 20, I can tip 20 to then staple it to you.
Oh.
So if you want to come up as some weirdo,
I'm going to get $20 and staple this to this pretty girl.
But I can then veto that with my 20. She gets both 20s, and I get to staple it to the dude.
That would be a good idea.
I stapled a guy on Sunday.
Did you?
Straight up. She was stapling it to her sternum up here in her chest, right? And there's the little, 1/4-inch staples. They're not real big.
I know, but still.
I know. And so, so she goes, well, the rules are the rules. And so the guy was like, okay. And he pulled his shirt down, and I laid one on him. And, we have a friend named Lucky Monroe, Lucky the Painproof Man. And he's been doing a really fun sideshow that, if you've ever seen it, it's hard to make it through the whole thing. It's pretty. He drinks a quart of motor oil. Yeah.
Ugh.
Why?
Can you imagine the poo?
I mean, I do a shot of green gas and I gag for like 30 minutes.
So it's fun. Everybody should go to Medieval Fair, and I hope you guys have really fun stage performers because it was a blast.
Well, did you see the Washerwell women?
Yes, they're fun. They're fun.
I know one of them lives in New Orleans. I don't think she's up here because that's actually a franchised organization.
It's an organization. They did such a good job.
What is Washerwell?
It's basically like the nicest way to say it is what's that movie Hocus Pocus? Right.
Okay.
So basically, these are the washer women of the village.
Yep.
And they're up to shenanigans all the time.
Yep.
And they're having man troubles.
Yep.
And they know all this town's dirty secrets because they do all the town's dirty laundry. So then they interact with the crowd, but they are very G-rated.
Yep.
But they're still hilarious, and God bless them, they're fantastic. It wasn't until I was walking past and Pipsy happens to see me, and she's in the middle of her set, and she just sees me, and she just stops everything and yells, "Hail Zombo!" And that, you can't resist that. You have to yell "Hail Zombo" back. Yeah. And I yelled "Hail Zombo" so loud the lady in front of me spilled her damned iced tea. It was fun. And then that was a good show. Everything was a good show, and I do recommend the Flaming Ginger. Yeah. He's always great. So I kind of got to see every show twice by just walking around strategically. I watched them sell $900 swords.
Yeah.
Swords for $900.
Yep.
It was amazing.
Yep.
So very nice. Lots of arts and crafts. I almost bought another a hand-tooled leather, beer.
Yeah. Flask holder, beer holder.
Flask holder, beer holder, what have you. Beautiful workmanship. Lots of good stuff there. But I do recommend it if you get a chance. Go to your local medieval fair. You're gonna have a good time.
I gotta dig through the attic and find all my garb.
Yeah, it's a fun thing. Yeah. It's a good time. And for $19, you can't beat it.
No,
super fun.
Kidding.
I think they sell a season pass for like $48 or something for you can go to all 6 of them.
Well, this is not a very big one.
It's not as big as the Pennsylvania thing is. Just
Penzic is a monster.
That's a whole city.
Yeah, that's a thing. And then
this is more mild.
The other one, the Ohio official one, is in Cincinnati.
It is in Cincinnati. Yeah, somewhere.
And it's in a couple of months, like a month or so.
Here's what I can tell you. This is a good way to get your feet wet.
Exactly.
And the other thing that's nice is if you like music and you're just a music enthusiast and you like stringed instruments and you like that stuff.
Because there's at least 2 dulcimer players.
Oh, there's...
Yeah.
I'm going to not joke. There were 3 bands there that were just right on point. And they would wander around, roaming minstrels and the whole deal.
Minstrels, yeah.
It was really fun. It was a great time. And it was funny because, I was like, I'm going.
Not minstrels.
No, they were.
That's a different show.
Did they have a flautist?
Yeah.
They did have a flatulist.
That would be me.
That's also a different show.
But when I put it out to the group, I was like, look, I'm not saying I want to do a group ride out. I'm just saying this is where I'm going if you want to go.
If I hadn't been at Costco buying shelves to renovate the garage,
you're fine.
Sorely in need.
I think I was in Kentucky already at that point.
It's cool.
Kind of were.
Yeah. Oh, you were totally in Kentucky at that point.
So Sleepy, since we're talking about that, where did you all ride?
I've been riding like every day, dude.
It's
like,
impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, we did. Since I got the BMW, I've almost at 4,200 miles.
Jesus Christ! Oh my Lord!
So we've been doing 500-600 miles Saturday, Sundays.
Okay.
We've been, just finding all the
When
routes.
you say we, you mean you and the bike.
No, me, my buddy Mike.
Okay. Yeah.
And then a really cool thing, I told Pete about this before, but this happened kind of unexpectedly, and it ended up being really cool, and I had a moment that really, really hit me hard. So me and Mike were down in Southern Ohio. We've been finding all the fun roads and doing shit down there, and we've been riding since 7 in the morning. It was about 12:30. Done about 400 miles, and we were thinking about going back. And my buddy Mark, who I've always said, hey, we're going riding and stuff, I hit him up, and he said, hey, I'm down here too. You want to meet up? We're like, yeah. Well, Mark was a dude 25 years ago. He bought, you guys, most of you know Mark. He was the Ducati tech from Cleveland Akron Honda.
Absolutely. I've known Mark for years.
Yeah, so he went down to Texas and worked at the largest Ducati Ferrari dealership until they got raided by the federal government for cocaine dealing. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
And that's why the feds busted him?
Yeah, cocaine.
Yeah. No, I've actually...
I didn't know that.
I think there's a VinWiki coverage of that.
Yeah. But Mark,
story.
Obviously, Mark had nothing to do with that, but he was just their head dude. So he came back, and I haven't ridden with him for a long time, but back in the day, so like in the early 2000s, he bought the last year's Ducati's team superbike for $74,000.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And so it came to him in a crate. The gas that he had to use was like $102 a gallon. It was like a specific race gas.
God.
Very specific to that bike.
Yeah.
No key, a laptop to start it, everything like that. So we would go down to New Philly and stuff, and we had certain roads we'd run, and we'd full leathers, the whole thing. And it got to the point where we got to be almost 3 groups. We'd have this dude, Woody Deathridge, who was a Team Suzuki guy. He would lead Group A. Then me, Mark, and everybody would be in Group B. And then like the newbies and stuff would go in C.
Right.
Well, Mark decided, since he got this new bike, and he was really skilled anyways, that he went with Woody and the Group A guys.
Oh, wow.
And they must have been on a burner that day. Because, usually we'd see them ahead of us. And they were gone. They were just gone. So I'm at the edge of my ability. We were ripping, and all of a sudden, as I come through this one turn, I just start to see red, like little pieces of red, and I'm like, oh fuck!
It's not a good sign.
And then you see Mark, and he's walking up, and he low-sided. The bike hit, and he flipped, and he was freaking out. But then he was able to part the bike out for more money than he paid for it, because somebody didn't want the whole super bike, but they wanted those fucking $28,000 Olin forks.
Bingo.
And he didn't fuck them up. He fucked the plastic up and bent the rim, and everything else was cool. Anyways. So 20 years go by, I haven't seen him, and he hits him up, and he's like, yeah, let's meet. So we went and met him, and of course, he's got a Ducati Hyper Motard, the SP, perfect Mark bike. Everything is perfect on it. Like, the wax has wax. Like, you know what I mean? And so he's like, we start talking, and you could both tell we were both nervous. Because, I was like, so what kind of pace we going to run today? He's like, well, what kind of pace you want to run today? And I was like, I'd rather just live. Right. He's like, okay, cool.
That's good.
Yeah,
I could use a day off.
Yeah. So we start going, and Mike's very talented too. Like Mike's faster than me 99.9% of the time, to be honest with you. And he doesn't lean. I don't know how he fucking rides like that. But
that's the square riding style.
Yeah. But anyways,
Dean does that.
Yeah. But so we all take off, and at first, for the first 25, 30 minutes, it was exactly as we said. We were going to live. We were doing, 65 into 35, kind of those turns, whatever, and things. But then something happened, and the Ducati note in front of me, and knowing that it was Mark in front of me, I became 25 again, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Instantly. And so I started to chase him down, and then I passed him, and then he passed me, and then we started to go. And, man, it got good for a while, man. It was it wasn't even crazy. It wasn't like the old days. No. But it was a pace that was pretty
spirited is the
riding.
Term that you should use. Yeah,
it felt good, man. I'm kind of getting really hooked on the twisties again, man. Yeah. They're fucking fun. So, anyways, it's been good. It's been fun. So we ended up doing almost 680 miles that day.
And that BMW is kind of getting to you, isn't it?
It is. It's a good bike, man.
I can tell. I think we all can tell.
Yeah.
That's become Sleepy endorsed.
But we don't hear, because he's got his Honda.
Right.
But we don't hear about the Honda.
I forgot he even had the
has
TransAlp,
the Africa
or the
Twin.
Africa Twin.
Didn't you have a Harley Springer too?
No, dude, that's on the lift. It's a Harley. It's broke.
But man, that BMW just shows up every week now.
No, I'd really like to ride the Harley to work, to be honest with you, because it's going to be just, that's just a nice cruising thing to get to work. So I am working on that.
Yeah.
It would have been done, but I've been gone for a week.
Right?
That used to be the talk of the town.
It was the talk of the town. You're right.
I love my Africa Twin. It's not going anywhere. I got tires. I got to bring them to you to do my tires sometime this
true.
next week.
That's true. That is, yeah. Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, that's it. But it's been a good. I mean, I don't know. Even the Africa Twin, I don't think I put that many miles on when I got it. Like this thing is real easy to put miles on, man.
Yep.
Yeah, well.
And 90% and 99% of them are not highway. We don't ride highways. So
okay.
it's all secondary roads. It's all like really fun stuff in the back. So yeah, it's gonna be good. We got to get a good group ride. We got to get a ClevelandMoto ride on a Sunday here.
Oh god, that means I gotta get okay, I'm just gonna borrow the CB500X from you. I gotta get a bike run. Well,
Dead
it's
battery.
You got a BMW. You said it just needs a battery.
Well, I gotta change. Well, the problem is now the hydraulics are bad. I gotta change all the hoses. So
Okay. All right.
that's the problem. And my boss wants me to turn wrenches for him. So
It's crazy.
It's weird.
It's
Hey,
just
did you
crazy.
see?
I tell you what, it's like the cobbler's shoes. I mean, you go work all day on
Absolutely.
everybody else's
Yeah.
bike. You come home, you don't really feel like jumping out in the
sit
garage
down
and
and
working
drink
on
a beer.
yours.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
Hey, did you guys see the news blast that this year is going to be the largest swap shop at Mid Ohio ever recorded?
Well, I can tell you,
We're dragging
enthusiasm is high.
We're dragging a 40-foot U-Haul trailer
Yeah,
full
we're
of
doing-
junk. I mean, bikes. For,
Dude, can you fit?
what do you need?
I got 5 bikes I'm bringing down.
Let's
I got to
go.
figure out how to get them down there.
We'll figure it out.
Dead Guy Dodge, we got Kendons.
Okay.
We got Kendons.
That's
and if we-
not 5 though.
And if we don't have Kendons, there's a $29 trailer from U-Haul.
Yeah. Because if nothing
Right.
else, we'll set up a tent camper down in the bottom, and whoever is, somebody's going to have to just do. We're going to have to like. We're gonna have to have a schedule like Wendy's where everybody works the booth.
well, you can resolve that by putting your phone number on the bike, dude.
Yeah,
That's
well,
true. We know that works.
Would you
Yeah,
hire
we know
Pippi to work the booth?
that. Oh, that'd be so crazy.
Bring
would
the
be
dude
good.
Oh,
down.
her fucking schedule. Pipsy's schedule is booked. I saw she's doing a photo shoot this week. Like when she's from Florida, when she comes up to the Detroit area, she goes and hits all kinds of. She keeps her dance card very full. Super cool.
ooh, we could do the thing where you like if you're gonna shoplift, please let us know.
Please let us know,
the clerk's counter thing, but like do it all in the honor system where you're
Yep.
like, oh well, this is only $1,800. Just put it in the kitty.
Right, of course, absolutely. That's all cool, man. I dig that. That's nothing wrong with that at all.
So I do have one thing I wanted to ask
Yeah.
you guys about. So did you guys and anybody watch the video that I sent of this kid with the Fireblade, the $30,000
$30,000 Fireblade.
It's the CBR 1000 RR.
Yep.
R.
R. Extra R.
Like
So
pirates.
he's rolling down there with these dudes in Texas, and they're. I mean, like I can't get mad because there's videos of me back in the day doing wheelies between cars at 100, but these guys are going 186 miles an hour for extended periods of time
Oh,
through
yeah.
traffic.
Yeah.
And then here's the weird part.
They
Today
don't
he
die?
dropped a video,
Okay.
and it's sponsored by like 2 or 3 different bike dealerships down in Texas.
Okay.
So
They're just leaning into it.
yeah, but that's I mean like, dude, if he hits a family at 186
Yeah.
miles an hour,
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
that's just really bizarre, man.
But that thing too is that the guys that do that go through a hell of a lot of plastic. They go through a hell of a lot of tires. They go through a whole hell of a lot of stuff. They spend a hell of a lot of money to do that.
Dude, this dude doesn't. These dudes are running on tires. He was like, I can't turn left right now over 70 because the left side of my tire is bald.
Right.
You know what strikes me as funny about this entire thing? About the fact that they actually recorded what's known as evidence
Right.
and released it to the public.
And not only that, but it's
Because
not.
didn't that guy in Salt Lake or whatever it was get busted because he recorded himself driving a ridiculous amount of speed between two points, and the state police went, "Well, you're nicked because
Math.
you recorded yourself
Because of-
doing
But this
this."
dude's not stupid. I guarantee you his YouTube channel is not his real name,
Right.
and his license plate's never in the thing.
And it's also in Texas where they don't do anything about anything.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but it's weird. I don't know. I became infatuated with these things because it's weird. Like if you've
I
gone,
too liked watching Faces of Death when I was a kid.
well, no, I understand that, but if you've gone like 140, 150, like I did 180 once on a motorcycle,
Yeah. Right.
and it's a weird thing where like time does slow down,
Yes, it does.
and it's thing, and I'm kind of getting that gig from his videos, so it's kind of like it's
Yeah.
kind of getting the drug without having to kill myself.
Yep, absolutely.
But I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird that they can. He's gone this long. Their whole group of guys, like they're missing. They're doing rush hour traffic at 180 miles an hour.
It's impossible. It doesn't last
It
long.
doesn't
man.
last long, right?
Yeah.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
Man, it's such a weird thing.
You know, you 140 mile an hour on a 2-lane road is really cool until it's not.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, like, there's you can do calculated speed runs.
yeah.
Like when you're on 90 going toward Thompson, there's 2.5 miles of down and up, and you can see that there's no cars,
Right.
there's no driveways that anybody's going to pull out. So at that point, yeah, you can have a mechanical, you can have a thing or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's set. And if you do fuck up, you're not hurting
Right.
anybody else,
Yep.
right? But these dudes, like,
ClevelandMoto does
Oh.
not endorse
fucking crazy, man.
exceeding the speed limit or breaking the law.
I like exceeding the speed limit, but 186
No,
miles an
but-
hour, dude.
This is a legal statement, dude. Come on.
Yeah, all right, well, whatever.
So is ride fast, take chances.
Exactly.
So,
Right.
yeah, it's fine. I have no problem with it. I've done it. I've been there.
Oh,
if
yeah.
somebody, if the,
Anybody that says they don't speed is lying.
and you know, as soon as I got that BMW, that K1200,
Yeah.
you know, the first thing I did was I was like, well, it goes 186 miles an hour. Let's see if it goes 186
Let's
miles
find
an hour.
out. Yeah.
And I went 186 miles an hour. And you know what? It's not. I mean, it's life changing. It's
Yeah.
totally different. It's
Right.
weird. It fucks you up.
But I bet you didn't do it at fucking rush hour traffic.
No, I didn't
Right.
do it
He's
at
not
rush
a
hour
dumbass.
traffic. You know, I did it at, O Dark 30.
Right.
You know?
When there's
And-
absolutely nobody on the
right.
street but drunks.
Yeah, and even then, it's a very surreal experience. I've also been on the Bonneville Salt Flats, too.
Yeah, but how fast did the Tundra go?
116?
Or
112?
116.
Yeah,
I
something
think you
like
said
that.
112 with two scooters in
With
the
two
back.
scooters in the back.
Right.
That's the fastest those two bikes have ever gone. Yeah. I promise you, no Lambretta's ever gone 112. Yeah, that's it. I know we've got the land speed record on Lambretta for that one.
I don't know. Have you asked Tony?
I don't think Sony.
Sony never did 112.
I don't think. Yeah, I've ridden that bike. Yeah, and many of it's like, yeah. I don't think that bike could go 112. I mean, I love Stoney and everything, but I just don't think 112 was in the cards. But anyway, but yeah, it's a dumb thing. I mean, it's
crazy.
It's a stupid, crazy thing. Yep, people do dumb shit all the time.
I know. It just something hooked me on it,
Yeah,
though. Like,
you
I
ever
just,
seen anybody with a wingsuit?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's some dumb shit, right?
I loved that. Though. If I wasn't afraid of heights, I would do that.
Probably
I love the squirrel suits. Those are my fucking favorite. And if I thought I wouldn't chicken out, I would totally do it. I love that shit.
Okay. Okay, I've got motorcycles up on,
yeah,
Facebook
yeah.
Marketplace all the time.
Yeah.
And I've had, it's just so frustrating because I can't get anybody to give me even $1,000 for Brother Tim's bike for his Zongshen. And it's a really nice bike. I ride it around and, keep the battery charged. It's a complete and utter Sordic deal at $2,000, right? Mm-hmm. And it's going to probably end up making it all the way to Mid-Ohio, and we'll have to take it Mid-Ohio, and we'll sell it at Mid-Ohio. That'll be how it sells. But it makes me sick. But the one guy that I was like, a guy called the other day and said, will you take a Honda TransAlp? Right? And I said, well, yes, but tell me more.
Yeah, this requires a little bit more
original
information.
or new today?
New.
TransAlp. Oh,
New.
wow.
New.
Oh.
A new TransAlp with like 390 miles on it. And he's like, I got it. I just don't like it. I can't make myself like it. And I'll tell you what, I paid $10,000 for it. I'll take that Zongshen and you give me $7,000. And I'm like, well, then I'm out $8,000 on a bike I wasn't going to buy anyway.
Right.
So I was like, well, let's push these numbers around a little bit. How about I give you $6,000 and the Zongshen? And now I'm $7,000 into a $10,000 bike, and I could probably live with that for a year or two.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And do you know what killed the deal? And I hate to say it. I don't know what colors Honda TransAlps
I know what you're gonna say.
are available in.
Black on black.
Yeah, black and black and red and black.
Well, had it not been the black one, I got to tell you, I probably would have taken the deal. But I just don't want to have a flat black on flat black on flat black on flat black motorcycle.
Yeah, it's not
to
very-
me, nothing looks less appealing than just a blob of blackness.
It looks cheap.
Well,
At
and
least put gold wheels on it.
also true. That's a
true.
great,
Also true.
And you know what's
Like a Huffy Bandit.
Right.
Yes.
Or any John Player
You
bike.
could have made it a Smokey in the band. It would
Like
put
what
some
Honda
gold
exec 10 years ago, because it's been 10 years,
Yeah.
they have gotten on this black on black kick.
Yes, they have.
And it's not like I get flat black. But like you could have given it because the red that they came, the CTX and everything else came in that nice bright red.
Yep.
But hold on, before you go any further, this is the important feature of this. The TransAlp is a adventure bike, yes?
Yeah.
Right?
That's kind of the idea.
What is like the most like the kind of paint that like once you wash it a lot or rub it a lot or anything looks completely terrible and awful within
Or you
minutes?
splatter it with mud and hose it off, and
Like, this
it doesn't want to
was-
come out of
Right.
the grain of the paint.
Yeah, what is that? Oh yeah, that's right. It's a satin matte
Satin
finish.
paint.
Because
Right.
I really looked hard at the NC700X when it came out, and the 750 as well.
Right.
And they were black on black, and that flat. You're right. That flat black. The second you put a tree against the side of it, it is just a mess.
Dude, my NC was red. It was beautiful. I love that
think
bike.
that I think we just need to call it. It's 2024. You've had your 10 years of flat black.
Yeah.
Give it up. You're not fooling anyone into thinking these bikes have built-in stealth capabilities anymore. It's no fun to look at. I can't see any of the detail of the machine.
Nope.
No. Well, the
Stop.
the 500 and the.
And
I
what
think
sucks is
the-
it looks like it like if you stand back and look, it's got a really nice look to
Oh,
it,
yeah.
but you can't see the accentuations.
the
of it.
best one I've ever seen. I think it was the 500 or the 700. I can't remember which. They had the classic Honda racing scheme on it.
Yeah, the red,
Well,
white, and
yeah,
black.
definitely.
white and blue.
But not
Yeah.
only that, but like if
And
you're
it
gonna
looked brilliant.
you're gonna bring back such a classic, well-known. Like so
Yeah.
many people knew what the TransAlp was. How do you not have a throwback color scheme to match the fucking
Oh,
original?
yeah, that bright silver. Oh,
They
yeah.
do,
Where?
not here.
In Europe.
Oh,
So that's the problem. And what I was hoping the man would have said was, oh, well, it's white, of course, because had it been white, of course, then it would have been white with the, the spectrum blue
Yeah.
colorway, right?
yeah, that's
Good
right.
looking. That's great
a
looking.
That's a
classic
beautiful
looking
Did you
looking
notice
bike.
what color the rims are?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Gold.
They're fucking gold.
Gold.
Right, they're gold.
Now that's
And-
that's something to rub your wiener.
And I
over.
promise you this, in case you weren't sure, I would have not hesitated for a second to take him up on the deal
Yep.
had this Honda TransAlp, there it is, had this Honda TransAlp bid Honda TransAlp colors.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Honda TransAlp colors. It's, like you said, NC700X colors.
Yeah.
It's
The
CB...
the NM1, everything. They have done everything in
The
flat. that flat
CB500X that's in my shop is
Yeah.
flat black on top of flat black on top, flat black with one little tiny yellow stripe on
Yeah,
it,
it's
right?
stupid.
And it's just stupid.
And it's-
Meanwhile, this is a very attractive
What's
motorcycle.
especially though, but let's think about another step. What is the one color that is always the dirtiest?
You
black.
cannot keep black clean.
No.
So
you-
why would you do
can't.
that to an adventure bike when you're
Exactly,
riding
yeah.
on gravel and dirt and stuff? It's so stupid.
And so today, another fella answered my call for the Zongshen. And the other fella that called and answered my call for the Zongshen, he was trading another CSC, another California Scooter Company Chinese bike. But it's much newer, it's a 2023 or whatever. And I can't remember what
Is it the Buckaroo?
No, it's I don't. It wasn't
No,
the Buckaroo.
it's their cafe racer.
It was
the
their
Buccaneer or the Buckaroo?
San-
No, the
San
Buccaneer was
Diego or something.
Benelli SSR.
Yeah.
Buccaneer. The Buccaneer.
Well, it's a 200, right?
It's a 250. The problem with this particular bike was that it was a carbureted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just a
it was
round
carbureted.
slide. I mean, it was basically like a down market Kimco Spade.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. And so there's the. We'll just see if I can pitch this up so you fellas can see it at least. No, it doesn't like that for some reason. All right. So anyway, the long and short of it is, it's just a 250. It's a full size motorcycle. It's not a partial scale motorcycle. It is a legitimate full size motorcycle, but it's not attractive. And unfortunately, the deal was over when I found out that it was, upside down forks. Yay. Spokes. Okay. Headlights. A strange fake Chinese version of the Harley Daymaker. Right. And we'll make that quieter just for all the people.
There you go.
Like it's
All right, so anyway, there you go. So there's the bike. That's what it is. It kind of has a CB 1100 inspired gas tank or a Yamaha Seika 750 inspired gas tank, but it's a overhead valve. I'm sorry, it's a push rod. It's a push rod 250 with Ein carburetor.
That looks
And
a lot like the
Cleveland
Janus.
Cycle Works.
Yeah, it's kind of the.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's the Misfit.
Yeah.
But nice digital display, nice digital, the whole deal. But the point is, I'm not going to trade one Chinese 250 with a fuel injector for a Chinese 250
Yeah.
with a carburetor. That's walking backwards in anybody's book.
I mean, this is
a new bike, a
it's
newer
cool,
bike.
It's a cool piece. Mm-hmm. And you're absolutely right, because if you let it sit for 2 months, I'm going to have to clean that jet.
Yes,
But,
you are. Yep.
You know,
You're absolutely right.
I see the potential, but unless you had somebody literally on the hook going, you know
There's
what?
no, and it's just a bike that
Yeah.
has absolutely no attractiveness to
Yeah.
it whatsoever.
mean,
They
we
said
got-
it's a CSC San Gabriel,
Yeah.
you know, whatever that is. So
That's it.
That's what it is, a CSC San Gabriel.
They got
So-
decent reviews on Adventure Rider.
Yeah.
Some dudes like got them and do whatever, but they
Well, yeah.
really lack on power. The one dude was 200 pounds and he said it did 60.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
completely what I expected. Yep, that is 100% of what I thought it was going to be. And the long and short of it is, it's a carbureted vehicle. So as long as it's a carbureted vehicle, I'm going to have a hard time selling it to a new rider
Yeah.
at my shop. We just sold today. I went into extra innings today at the shop. I stayed an extra hour at the shop to sell my very last carbureted scooter.
Oh,
nice.
They
Well,
bought the
the-
buddy?
They did.
Excellent.
They did. They bought the buddy. And so, but when I say something like that, that's a declarative statement. That means I will not be ordering in any more carbureted
No,
scooters
no.
whatsoever. You can just forget about that. That's not going to happen anymore. You have to take a stand on something, and that's what I choose to take a stand on, right? I don't feel like a carbureted pushrod 250 is something I want to have in my shop.
You know, after riding the 150 and the 170i,
Yeah.
and I get back on mine, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
because the 170i is a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing it is. It's just quicker. It's not torquey or anything else.
Even
But-
that, there's one I took in today that's a 2012
Yeah,
with
the brown-
7,000
the brown
miles on it,
brown.
and it's lived a tough life.
Yeah.
You know what? Press the start button.
It'll
Perfect air fuel mix.
go and go.
100% perfect
Yeah.
air fuel mix. Even though it's probably never had an oil change. So,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. It's a mid-Ohio
Technically,
bike.
you only need about a half of a cup of oil to keep it alive.
Yes. Yeah, we know
Depending
that.
on the bike.
Yeah.
It's only when you have no oil at all that
There's
it
a
finally dies.
motor sitting in the floor in the back of the shop right now that was knocking is the only reason I pulled it out of a bike.
Yep.
And the truth is, if I put it back into a bike, it would probably get another 2 years out of it.
Probably. If
Well,
you don't mind the noise.
That one orange buddy that you gave me is it's this fucking mosquito fogger,
Right.
yeah.
rapping like a but
Yeah.
it runs.
It'll run. It'll run. That's fine. It's remarkable what they can handle. This particular one is if they want me to buy a TransAlp, if they're just like hardcore, dude, Phil, you need to buy a TransAlp, then they only need to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to build me this one. Because if they build me this one, well then, my God, they got me. They figured me out, and they're going to build me a TransAlp. So
Oh, yeah, the first one.
yeah, so if you build me a TransAlp 750R XLV, one of those, then I'm there.
You know what? I
got my
hate to
money.
say it, but Moto Guzzi kind of built that in the V85.
They sure did,
or
didn't
88
they?
or whatever. it
They
is.
sure did.
McDonald's bike.
I mean, this is not far out. What is it? The Shadow RS that I keep saying.
that we
if
all
I,
call
if
back
I
to, yeah.
find one,
Right? Yeah. Yep.
and it's not impossible to find a Shadow RS, but
No.
it's tricky to find.
But I'll be the first to admit if they built me a 750R/XLV, well, there we are, right?
I mean, I only
yeah.
know them as silver on silver, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's there you go. That's what that is. And so yeah, there you go. But I didn't take the trade. I didn't dive in on it. And I was like, yep. Well, I'm not going to take a bike that I just doesn't do anything for me. And the other thing too is the initial reviews were, I hate the TransAlp. It could have been so much better. And then that softened over the past year and a half, 2 years, where people are like, no, I got one. It's really good and I like it and it does everything just good enough. It's not perfect at anything, but it does everything across the board just good enough.
It's the girl next door.
There you go. But the thing is, with the amount of technology, the amount of good things that Honda has at their disposal, The only fear that I can see that makes any sense is that they didn't want to cut into their their Africa Twin sales.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to make the TransAlp steal buyers away from the Africa Twin. And that actual logic does make sense to me, because, what's an Africa Twin cost?
Yeah, but well, it depends. I mean, they're 14 or 20 depending
Right.
on which one you get.
Yeah.
But Honda's did some really weird things though, because if you think about it, Yamaha has the Super Tenere 700.
Yes.
And all these other people, Ducati has the Desert Sled coming in there and stuff, and so there's a pretty competitive market for the 700cc, more dirt bike-esque adventure bike, where there's a lot less frills and it's more dirt bike.
Yep.
And I don't think the NC or the TransAlp, the new one, fits that. Like, I don't think you're putting that up against the Super Tenere 700. It's not the same kind of bike.
I think
No,
you're right.
it's not.
So it's kind of weird. So they don't have a middle ground Africa Twin. So I don't see that competing with the Africa Twin at all, because the Africa Twin is like they needed to make a smaller Africa Twin for all the guys that don't want all that weight. That's why I don't go off road my Africa Twin. My knees are so bad now that 700 pounds becomes
too
about
heavy.
2,000 pounds off road.
It's too fucking heavy.
If they could have got a 450, 500 pound bike, or 450 would have been better. I might even have tried to trade that so I could still maybe ride off road a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're all good bikes though. They're Hondas.
Well, exactly. I think that's another thing you could pretty easily back
is
into.
Yeah, the new Desert X is.
Desert X.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to stop looking at this bike.
I know.
And-
you know why? Why? It's got 2 round fucking headlights in the front. That's why. That's the greatest bike ever made, man.
It's just the freaking KTM Adventurer.
Doesn't matter. It's got those 2 round fucking headlights, dude. I would buy one of those if you handed me money right now just to have those lights looking at me in the
That's
garage.
true. You do like that.
I'm still considering the Papaya. You got to start getting CF Moto Papayos or Papillos. I want that GSXR looking one. I don't care. I'll sell my liver to get that thing just to have those headlights.
Problem is, hi, I'd like to carry CF Moto, and they're like, great, your 93 bikes have arrived.
Oh, geez.
Including all of our side-by-sides, quad runners, and everything else.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
soon to be watercraft.
If they give us a
Yeah.
good deal on the Ford dealer across the street, we probably could just move right into a CM.
well, sad news, Tom. Motorcycle sales are down 40 to 50% across the
That's
board.
true.
So
So tell me that
this is not the time to go deep in your inventory.
So tell me that doesn't look like a Stelvio.
Exactly. Well, yeah. It's also only 421 pounds.
gluten-free.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be some on the bottom.
Yeah.
Hang on, I get it.
So I'm not going to go too deep, but there's this YouTube channel called 650IB, 650 and we did a thing with him years ago where we did a shootout, the H2 versus the Zero SR, and I spanked him on drag racing it. It was fun. He's a really nice guy. He tests a lot of bikes, rides a lot of bikes. He's a Akron, Cleveland native. So he's a fun channel to watch.
He drives fast and takes chances.
He does drive fast and take chances.
Oh, that IT, whatever his name is?
650
Yeah, that's
650
it. Yeah.
And so, but his latest thing is he has a Ducati full on, Ducati, and he goes out and he's got 4,200 miles on it. I'm going to say that again for the cheap seats. He has 4,200 miles on this full on, might as well be a race bike Ducati that you can buy. And, he's not out there doing hole shot contests. He's not out there doing wheelies. He's not tricking. He's just riding the bike.
Right.
He's riding with a bunch of other people, and they ride fast, and they like to pass each other and do gap shots and whatever. But they're not 196 miles an hour, in the middle of rush, stop and go traffic.
Right.
So he's having some clutch performance issues, right? So he's having some clutch performance issues at 4,200 miles. I'm going to remind you again, at 4,200 miles.
That's a dry clutch on that.
It
isn't
is.
it? Open dry clutch.
It is.
They clatter and chatter as they
Well,
go
that's
by.
how you know that it's a Ducati, right? That's the mating call of a
My
Ducati.
BMW does it too, and I still don't know if it's supposed to. But it seems to be working, so I
That's
don't know.
probably the slipper clutch making noise.
Yeah, that's right,
that's
yeah.
slipper.
Yeah.
But but apparently his friends there that are also Ducatinistas and everybody else.
Ducatistes?
Ducatistas, yeah. Apparently they all said, bad news, buddy. It's a $2,300 clutch. And so he got extremely scared. And he went to our local Ray Hall's Ducati that we have here in Cleveland, which is his dealer of choice now that Northern Ducati went away. He went in there, and the technicians laid hands, and they took everything apart. And they said, Your clutch isn't blown up.
Your motor is.
Nope. Your clutch is not blown up, but it is in desperate need of a fluid change and adjustment. At 4,200 miles.
Yep.
Less than a year old.
Yep.
Okay. Ouch.
Lapsed.
That's
Church
like
of
a month for Sleepy over here.
Lapsed.
Yeah, but you know what's weird?
What
But,
I was just about to pull up.
So,
but here's the thing.
hydraulic fluid for the
Yes.
But see, I don't know though. I think so. So riding with Mark, right? Mm-hmm. Mark has that Hyper Motard. It's a beautiful fucking bike. In fact, like, dude, that thing, it's basically made. That's what it's made to do. It's
Sure,
just made
right.
to do that.
Yep.
And he's got all the money. Like, I mean, he's a master tech, but like, if you know what to do, the things run forever, man.
So as a member of the lapsed Church of Desmo, if your buddy here, after every couple of rides, because let's face facts, it's like driving a Ferrari.
Oh no, that dude has a Q-tip out when he gets home from the ride. Every bolt
owning
of that
a Ducati
bike.
is very much like owning a race car because you have to, after every couple of rides, you have to change for example, the hydraulic fluid in the clutch, master and slave. You have to change that because you have ridden that pretty hard and it's going to boil. You know, at 4,000, he's not due for the engine rebuild, but at 4,000, he is really close to his belt service. And then you've got the open and closing, Desmo.
Do you really a belt at 4,000 miles?
Oh yeah, well
they
used to be.
I was gonna say because then there's no way I could ever own one of these.
They're not so much anymore because they've actually increased it to about 7,000 or 8,000. But what we found out even with the buddies and stuff is that the service intervals have come down to about 7,000. So Ducati, it used to be 4,000 miles.
So here's the trick.
For the
At 4,200 miles, he's suffering what I can only describe as less than optimal performance.
Yes.
Enough to make him go to his dealer
Yeah.
in fear of a $2,300 clutch replacement.
Yep.
The dealer laid hands on the bike on camera and was happy to let him know, good news, friend, good news. You just need an adjustment and new fluid.
Yep.
And he was shouting for glee the fact that he got away for under $600.
Yeah.
Okay? Shouting with glee that he got away for under $600. Now, I can tell you, I've done this several times. We're talking about a job that probably bills out 2 hours, a job that takes about an hour. Okay?
Yeah.
But bills out 2 hours. I'll give you that. It does bill out 2 hours.
I've done it on an 848 so many times, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, not a big deal, right? Not a big deal. But here's where I get into my little soapbox. The thing that the dealer told him, the dealer technician told him, is, my friend, you've dodged a bullet. You don't need a clutch. Yet. That will do at 6,000 miles. So instead of charging him $2,300 last week,
right now
they charged him under $6,000.
Yeah.
And he gets to pay the $2,300 in 1,800 miles. That is less than one oil change later.
That is one ride for Sleepy.
Really, I'm not trying to make fun of it, but that is goddamn truth. That is the God's on it. What you got there, buddy?
What'd you find?
TDM 800.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're making a new TDM.
No, look at that.
Oh yeah.
No, that's a TDM. That's a Stelvio. That's a TDM. You're not wrong.
Oh, you're talking about the Ducati Desert X.
Yeah.
So I guess the basics. I mean, just not to just
Well, like I said, the first time I rode an SV650, it was a
I like the TDM better.
It was a life-changing moment because I can have an SV650 which has a service interval at 20,000 miles to do the valves,
Right.
And that's literally just pull it off and check it. Versus the Ducati, which is every 3,000 miles I have to spend $3,000.
Right. And what it, I mean, not for absolutely nothing.
That's kind of why I quit the Church of Desmo.
Right. Yep. And there's just no place where I can be and go, yep, it's 207 horsepower. It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is. That's
amazing
that's great.
motorcycles.
I
And
just
if you can afford
cannot-
them, go for it.
Yeah. I just can't.
Well, I think that's what it is. The people buying new ones that can afford them can
Yeah.
also afford the mechanics to fix them.
Absolutely.
You know.
That does say 45,000.
Oh,
that
yeah.
does say $45,495.
They are amazing.
Yeah, but that's better than Viagra for most.
Oh yeah, this will at least get you
Oh
hard.
man, is that a fucking sexy?
They
My
are
back hurts looking at it,
yeah.
but it's fucking sexy.
They're amazing motorcycles,
Yeah.
and if you can afford to keep them up, you can afford to keep. I had a 900 Super Sport. It was
It has
fucking
wings all over it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I traded it to AD as fast as I could for that Ape because I knew exactly how much it was going to cost for me to maintain a 900 Super Sport.
What's iceberg white? Oh, the Monster.
The Monster. But I just
wait, the
you know,
Monsters seem to have decent interval. Like,
Yeah.
don't their service intervals are
they're
different.
extended, but
Yeah.
they're still going to be expensive because you still have to replace a belt. Mm-hmm. So at 8,000 miles, you're still going to spend $1,400.
Well, and here's the thing about the belt. I don't like telling people 4,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 miles.
Yeah.
It's 3 years. Okay. If
Yeah,
you
that's
if you
true.
only put 1,500 miles a year on your bike,
This
if
is
you put
true.
2,000 miles a year on your bike, I don't care. You must no dicking around. You must put a belt on it. You must put a belt on it every third year.
Except for their Kimco version, the Scrambler.
Yeah.
That's the best Kimco ever built.
But just just making sure people understand that
Oh
you know,
yeah. Oh yeah. If you
even if you go the Super Quadro, you're down to $29,000.
Yep.
Good for you.
Yep.
Fucking awesome. You're saving money. God, you're saving money just so damn fast.
When
right?
when Ducati Seattle blew up and all that happened, I had a very short window of somebody going, "Well, no, I'll back you if you want to open a Ducati dealer in Seattle." And I went, "Fuck no."
No way. No way. And I mean, I have a lot of friends that did and do, and they do that, and they
yeah.
make money doing
Oh,
it,
yeah.
and that's fine. But you are now on the completely other side of being a motorcycle dealership.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
gotten a new thing. And there's also my friends that are BMW dealers that say the same thing. It's just once you sign up and once you give that secret handshake,
It's
and
money,
once you
money,
do
money.
that, it's money, money, money. But then you're like, don't bitch too loudly though. Then when they make you take a $50,000 sign package
Yep.
or take a $70,000 clothing package that you're going to have to give away.
Yep.
That you're going to have to do that because that charging $490 or $500 for a 2-hour service doesn't come without the Ducati sign or the BMW sign above your door. That's what it's going to be.
that-
I think
Pay to play.
I think I told you a couple of weeks ago. I said I knew 20 years ago it was $1 million to put a BMW sign in front of your door, and you said,
Right.
No, that's changed. It's
It
now
is.
$2 million.
It's $2 million right now. Yeah, we can give you we can quote you that and
yeah.
send you the names of the people involved.
Yep.
It's just a very interesting thing talking about that. How many different flavors of motorcycling? We just got done talking about $1,000 fuel injected 6-speed transmission, 250cc motorcycle that has seen 12,000 odd miles and continues to give reliable daily performance.
Yeah.
That probably cost $4,000 brand new.
Tops.
Tops. Right? And we're also talking in the same hour about a $40,000 machine that requires a $2,300 service annually.
Yep.
Right? Plus, I just don't. It's very hard for me to get my idea around. I'm glad you enjoyed your motorcycle, Sleepy, for the past 6,000 miles. You'll be needing a clutch now.
Yeah, I'd be. What the fuck is that? What am I going to do with that?
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah. So now I hope you enjoyed your BMW, but for 1/3 of the price or 1/4 of the price you paid for your BMW, you'll be doing that every 6,000 miles. And as the value of your BMW depreciates,
The service does
clutches
not.
are not going to. It's only going to go higher.
That's right.
So this idea of like, I'm going to pick myself a sweet ass Ducati, whatever that's 15 years old.
Oh yeah.
My Multistrada went from a 5K heavy service interval to a 10K heavy service interval
Yep.
by the marketing department.
Yep.
People were bitching that, the Ducati service intervals were too expensive and too frequent. And so they didn't change anything about the design of the motor, but they did change the service intervals.
Yeah.
All right. And now it's 15K. So now they're saying like, oh, well, it's only every 15K that you have to do this heavy service.
Yeah.
But I promise you, don't wait for 15K to do the belt. Because if you wait for 15K to do the belt, you'll be buying a whole new motor.
Yeah.
Right. So they're not telling you the whole story.
No.
Right. So they don't consider that, that belt to be a 15K job. It's not part of the 15K service.
I was told once upon a time that if you had, I think Stan was talking about this, if you have a Porsche, which he inherited, and you go for an oil change, it's $1,200. So the reality is they're selling these bikes specifically for people who can afford a $1,200 oil change on their car. So they're like, oh yeah, it's only $1,200 or $1,400 or whatever. Go ahead and do it. And the problem is schlubs like us, when they hit the used market, they're like, wow, a Monster 600, that sounds cheap.
Right.
And
I've had a bunch of
it.
them.
Yeah.
Yep. I've had a bunch of them.
And then you buy one.
Wait. What is that?
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad you mentioned that.
That's a Honda side cover there.
That is a Honda-Davidson.
What?
It kind of is, yes.
No.
It is.
not kind of is.
Absolutely is.
It is.
What?
So,
What?
folks,
Are they looking to piss off everybody?
folks,
You know what? I love that. I want it.
well,
I love it.
and you can't
I
even
love
see the front
everything
fender,
about
which
it.
has a pig with wings on
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
I love everything about this.
Yeah, this is a Honda-Davidson.
That's factory, right?
Totally, of course.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
This is the Harley that should have been.
Those side covers are probably worth more than the whole bike.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you're not joking. Yeah.
Those are the open fin ones.
Yeah, those open fins are
Those
gonna
are
be-
early KO.
Those are sandcast KOs. So guys, the reason I wanted to bring this up before we get into the minutiae of Harley or Ducati maintenance and ownership,
yeah, it
you know
doesn't
how
matter.
old Ducatis will make you poor just as fast as new Ducatis will. Check this out, guys. This was 2 years ago at a place that we all love, Mid-Ohio AMA Vintage Days, VMD, if you're nasty. And why I wanted to bring this up is if you're not getting ready for this event yet, by the time this podcast drops, you'd better be, because I've already gotten so much fucking feedback from podcast listeners and our podcasty friends, and it's going to be quite a to-do this year. I can count at least 20 people that I know that have never been to this event in their lives that will be there this year.
Cool.
Don't miss it.
Thanks to our podcast, clearly.
Well, we've gotten the upgrade of the generator and the grill, so
There you go.
FEMA camp's got lights.
Yeah, just
Wait, who's
yeah.
got the generator? You got
Oh,
a generator?
I got a
Nice.
generator to run the whole freaking house.
Nice.
Yeah, we got power, baby. We got
You
power.
always had power there.
Yeah.
Oh, but now we got real power.
Yeah, but he had vintage power. It was way cooler.
You like the flicker.
Like flicker.
Edison
Well, no,
bulbs.
but he's at a vintage event. You don't bring a fucking new Kohler fucking thing. You
Oh,
got to
no,
bring a
this is-
1937 Honda.
Shut up. I don't give a fuck what you bring. Make sure it's quiet.
No, this is the Furman with a Furman dual fuel. It's got
Very-
the propane power. It'll
simple.
rock all weekend.
If it's a generator and it's going to be running after 10 p.m., I have only one requirement. That it's
Steam
fucking
powered.
quiet.
steam powered.
Hopefully. Yeah. A hit and miss engine, maybe.
miss,
That would be
2 RPM.
fun. I'm okay with that. Bring it on. That's
That would
great.
be fun.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
we should
love
make
it.
a giant. We should make a giant hamster wheel and then put a guy a guy in there like on a Honda monkey, and you just take turns.
It's the vertical wall of death.
Or like generate power with it.
I want the generator hooked up to an air-conditioned tent.
Yes, right.
I do.
But you know what? You could really fuck somebody
You know,
too.
I've
Like
got-
you get them to do the thing, right? So they're generating.
Yeah.
And they're generating.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, I need a little more speed. He's like, "Arr," and then you pull the brake, and then he's like,
Oh yeah, he gets his first. Yeah, he gets his his first Travis Pastrana.
Johnny, I've got the robot over there, so we will have an air conditioned tent.
So
Don't tempt me.
here's why I think that it's important to bring this up. Over the past years, I've kind of gotten in. I don't want to say I'm in a rut on Mid-Ohio, but my focus is kind of all weirded out. Okay, my focus of Mid-Ohio got a little weirded out. I went from initially my whole goal with Mid-Ohio was sell everything. Right, that was because I had to. Just be on the hard push, sell shit constantly. And then it got into drink constantly.
Yeah.
And then fireworks and light yourself on fire and fall down, and that was my Mid-Ohio.
Yep.
I think I need to change pace. So I'm not going there to buy anything. That's not my intention. If something falls in my lap, I might. But what I want to do is I just want to partake of events.
Yeah.
I want to go there and I want to roam around and I want to watch a sidecar race and I want to watch a hill climb.
That's funny you said that. This I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, every year we do this thing. I'm like, this year I'm going to go and watch all the racing. Like,
Right.
I'm going to go and have
Right.
road day, and then
That's exactly right.
You know, I've had a
I want to
really-
watch air scrambles.
If I if I could do anything, I would be maybe Piper and I get out and do a lap of the track.
Absolutely.
That's the one thing I've always fucked up and never
Parade
done.
laps,
it's
absolutely.
fun, dude. Yeah, it's fun.
You know, I've had a really bad thought, and we don't have enough GoPros for this, but I almost think that we should all have little tiny chest cameras and just walk around, and whatever we do, and we all bring it back.
Oh my God, no! That's so much editing.
Yeah.
Remember that
It's hard to
editing
make-
is a 12-to-1 ratio.
It's
his
hard to
job,
make
right.
conscious content.
Right.
Besides
Let alone
uncut
random.
walking
You don't have to
around.
keep all of it. That
In order for there to be content,
5 minutes of me in the
somebody must observe it first.
5
Right.
minutes of me in the
And then
Portland is not
go-
going to be important.
Although to Tom's point and credit, I'll give him this. You look at the Mid Ohio videos on YouTube, and they're all doing pretty well. There's a few of them.
Right.
But the one that has like 70,000 views
Yeah.
is just some fucking drunk guy that held his camera phone up and like fucking like took like 10 seconds or 3 minutes of fucking standing there. And it says Mid Ohio. Like, I don't even think he spelled
It's
it
the
right.
essence of.
Whatever it is, but it's like, holy fuck. Like, what the? Really? That's what gets 80,000 views?
Hey, you know, when I make my travels, one of the things that I always do.
Good God, that thing has become. You cannot get that kind of. It is ridiculous how far
But
that
did
has
you
gone.
see
You know why?
that
It's
girl-
just because America needed a break. That's all it was.
But you know
Jesus
what,
Christ,
though?
we
But
did.
She was the
to
break
her
we needed,
credit,
so,
to her
yeah.
credit, she owned it, and
Yep.
she's turned it into. She's got endorsement.
Oh, she's got an
deals.
agent. They're
Yeah,
doing the
I'm
whole
sorry.
deal.
Oh, yeah.
She's-
Yeah.
Cash me outside.
Yeah.
How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man.
Well, I'm
we
just
are
saying.
we are a very low bar country.
Well,
But I'm just
true.
saying, for her, I'm happy for her. Like, she
course
could have
you
been
are.
like, upset about it or something.
Absolutely.
No, cash in, bitch. You did good. Yeah.
And her
And I love
Tinder-
all the- I love
her
the-
Tinder profile now has got to be exploding.
It's got to be going nuts. No, but like every time I travel, when I travel, I will always find a spot wherever I am, and I will just sit there with my camera, and I'll sit there with my camera, audio on, and I will shut the fuck up, and I will sit wherever I'm sitting, and I'll shoot a 1-minute video. And sometimes there's seaplanes or beaches or rivers or snow or whatever, and I'll just shut up and I'll just say, here's a minute of the Sonoran Desert. Here's a minute of Glacier National Park.
Right.
Here's a minute of Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
So coming
right?
soon, Unky Phil's minute of.
Good.
Look at our YouTube videos.
But the whole idea would be, it's literally just to give somebody no commentary, choose your own, come up with your own fucking conclusion.
Yeah.
This is just what it's like to be sitting where I'm sitting for 1 minute. And you can loop it 1,000 times if you want. I don't care. To me, I always go back. Those are the ones I go back and watch. Those are the ones I go back when they show up in my feed or I go back and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I totally remember that spot by that river at the bottom of that mountain that I just wandered into, and I just sat down and it was real quiet and I could hear the animals and I could hear the water. It was great. And sometimes that 1 minute video does better than anything.
All right, I get that, but
Yeah.
this wasn't even. This is not that. This
No.
is like I'm just saying. This is just a weird. But that's the way the internet works.
That's the way the internet works.
I kind of think if you had your drone over Kentucky Corner during all the fireworks and the crazy and the naked and the God forbid 11 o'clock chaos,
Yeah.
Yep.
that kind of encompasses one portion of this entire
Right.
event.
Right. That's true.
And so if you hold your phone in the middle of chaos
Yep.
for 1 minute, well,
Yeah.
yeah, this is 1 minute of chaos.
Yeah. I
And
completely
people
agree.
are going to watch this.
Yep. I do think that this event continues to deliver, and it's time for me to just change the way I approach it.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
it's- you don't need to, as you've said, you don't need to buy anything.
No.
You technically don't need to sell anything because everything's already paid for.
Well, no, but not only that. But if you want to keep something fresh, you got to do something new at the thing.
There is
you know?
no. I mean, short of owning a Vincent, is there really anything on your bucket list?
Owning a Vincent isn't on my bucket list.
Exactly.
So that's fine.
So there's no bucket
Yeah.
list. There's
Yeah.
nothing to accomplish.
That's absolutely it.
You know what changed me is fucking riding a new motorcycle. I haven't never had a new motorcycle. I'm like, wait a minute, all this technology's on here. I'm like, why am I riding this fucking old hunk of shit?
I listed about 4 or 5 things this past week. I've got nothing. I mean, it's marketplace. Nobody's going to do. I had like one bad offer of a refrigerator, no less.
Yep.
And it wouldn't be a bad idea, but I've had this conversation. What would you get down to? And the reality is 3: dirt bike, scooter, road bike.
Yep.
What else do you need?
Right.
Well, I mean, it all depends on what you like.
Well, yeah, but
Because you have to have different tools. Like a twisty bike is one thing. A touring bike is one thing.
I don't need a sport bike. I'm old and can't bend over very well. I love my Thruxton.
That's why
I
you
would
get
keep that.
That's why you get bikes like me and Dan for old. They're twisty bikes for old people.
That's a dual
Twisty
sport.
bikes for old people.
You know, I love my I love my art.
It's an affordable multistrada.
Exactly.
It's a long-lasting, affordable multistrada.
Did you ever wish that your back could still ride twisties? Now it can.
Now it can.
I promise you.
But I still put 2-inch risers.
Yeah. A 2-hour one-way ride on the V7 Cafe Racer.
Yeah.
It hurts a little bit. Whereas the 2-hour one-way ride on the 1200 Scrambler didn't hurt at all. Not even a little bit.
Do you know what
I told Pete my ears hurt, but I got to just get those. What are they called?
Ear fuse.
Ear fuse. I got to get those. Yeah, I got to get that. That's what I need to do.
And you know what I didn't put 4,000 miles on in a month? My Z900.
No, you didn't.
I love that bike, but fuck, I did not like to ride it.
That's right. So,
Oh god.
Patreon mail, listener mail, listener mail. John Natradowski. John Natradowski is one of our Patreon members, and I got to say, hats off to the Patreon members. Renee's been sending out boxes. People are getting their boxes. Renee has been.
Are they hot this summer? Her
Her boxes this year have been tighter. I've never seen such a tight box out of Renee. She's really stuffing.
She's been hotboxing everybody.
But what's funny is she's been kicking in weird, like, little bonuses. So she's been throwing knit hats in occasionally. That's pretty cool, right?
Okay.
You know, $30 knit hat or something. So she's been just randomly upgrading people.
Are they red?
No, they aren't. But yeah,
No,
right,
don't do
for
that.
real, right? They're black, and they say ride fast, take chances, bitch.
Oh, good.
So we've added the bitch part.
Oh.
But here's
That's the $25 Patreon level or above.
even at 10. So once you're 6
Ride
months
fast,
in,
take chances, bitch.
Oh, yeah,
Those
the
are the
bitch,
fancy new ones.
yeah.
Those are the fancy new ones.
So it's been really, we've had the new patrons, and that's really great, and people are chiming in. But this is a good one. Why I wanted to bring this up. John Nadrzadowski says, "Hey, can I expect good prices on bikes at Mid Ohio?" Well, we need a little more information, John.
Buying or selling.
Right, there we
Yeah.
go. Need to know if me trying to sell my 1981 PW50 will be worthwhile, or if I should just hold off and sell it normally. My son and I will be looking for a 125 dirt bike for him to possibly compete on. Does that sound like a good idea? Well, here's the trick, and I think Meckelfresh has summed this up pretty good regarding selling in Mid-Ohio.
I say, why haul it down there? Put it on Marketplace a week or two beforehand. Maybe you can just sell it and take the cash down there.
Yep.
And it's a good idea.
I just sold a fucking Chrome payphone for $400.
What?
Yeah.
That payphone you had in your garage?
Yeah. A guy from Avon Lake. I kind of researched it. I knew there's some money in them.
Yeah.
Only person
Was
contacted
that
me?
touch tone or dial?
Rotary.
Rotary, right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you gotta you
went to
can't
the
even.
movies.
I'm like, you gotta have you're gonna need a
modulator, right?
A pulse generator to even use it. He's like, I've wanted one for a long time, and all the ones I see out there are junk, and
Yeah.
they're only 150, $200, but this is nice. You got the keys. It's chrome.
Chrome, bitch.
$400.
Hey, right on.
Buy. I'm never using it.
Right. Get it out of here. It's heavy.
My dad stole them 30 years ago.
Right. Get it out of here. It's heavy.
Rewired them. That's the other thing. He rewired them so that you can just plug
They
it.
can-
You don't
yeah,
have
they
to
don't
put
need
money
coins.
in it or anything. And I have the keys. And there's somebody selling them for like $1,500.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
But I don't care. $400. Fuck yeah.
That's money in the
But
pocket.
that phone is 49 pounds. That money is like an ounce and a half. Right.
That phone was going nowhere.
Right. That's
now
exactly
it's going
right.
somewhere, and maybe that guy's super happy, and I'm super happy.
And you're super happy to have it gone. I love the idea of listing something, even if you want to put it on fucking eBay, even if you want to put it on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, put it on all the places.
If anybody's interested, I'm selling a Druin supercharger for a CB750.
Oh, you got to be a true fetishist to want that.
I'm never going to use it. I've had it for
you'll never
15
use it.
years. I'm
Yeah,
not.
you'll
you know
never
what,
use
I haven't
it.
done anything with it yet. It's a full
Yeah.
kit. It's what came off the bike. Buddy had it on a drag bike.
Yep.
Said it was too much horsepower. He was overspinning the blower. He had too big of a cogged pulley on the front. Mm-hmm. He had on a CB 750A, and he said he couldn't launch without burning the back tire off under any, just as soon as he gave it any gas, it was just whoop.
So contact Cleveland Moto Podcast.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's crazy.
I'm letting go.
Me too.
I
Wax all
opened
the
up
shit.
the garage door and I went, you know what? I need none of this.
I think
And
what it
I
is,
getcha.
you get to the point where like you only have so much energy.
Yeah.
Like I had a whole bunch of energy 20 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I got this much energy, and like my life takes up that much of this much energy.
Yeah.
So that doesn't leave any room for the other stuff.
If I had excess energy to work on projects, Phil would literally just give them to me.
I would. In fact, it's been hard to keep him away from them.
I know.
Yeah.
While we could work on the paying shit, right? Yeah. I've seen. Apparently,
No, Tom, get.
Oh, no.
Put the Lambretta down, Tom.
Oh, no.
step away from the Moto Guzzi.
The problem is I learned
There'll be a time for that.
too late how winter works here. And the reality is I should have been buying parts in September.
Yeah, probably. It's okay.
So that I could get the bikes done for December.
Yep.
And I started working on bikes in November, December,
Yeah.
and now they're apart. And he's like, when are you going to finish that? I'm like, well, when is it going to get cold again?
Well, there's 93 bikes that just showed up for service because it's March 1st and the sun's shining. So
and
yeah.
it has been, every time I walk outside, as soon as I walk out the front door, there's like 27 people just in the parking lot waiting in a queue to come through the front door.
Absolutely.
Because you won't let them in the front door.
Fuck no. That's why we have hours in a lock.
Exactly.
Right.
Because they're all on the phone going, okay, what number am I in the queue?
So I love John's thing is absolutely get it up on social media, get it up.
Yeah.
Make sure the world knows it's for sale.
Well, a PW50 is only going to bring so much money no matter what it is.
Also
They're
true.
great little bikes.
You know what? I might do that, but I'm just going to say available only at Mid-Ohio.
Now that's
Because then I don't have to take a fucking, I will not answer questions. This is letting you know that this fucking thing is going to be at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
I would literally list it in Mansfield.
That's the ticket.
no. Don't list it in Mansfield. List it in any market you
Anywhere.
want.
Yeah,
Because
there's people coming from fucking Idaho, dude.
That's true.
California, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. But the point being, there's a page called "What Are You Bringing to Mid-Ohio?"
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, there's a page. There's actually a Facebook page
correct.
called "What Are You Bringing to Mid-Ohio?"
Yep.
Okay, that's kind of teeing that shit up for you.
I am
right?
taking pictures tomorrow.
Okay.
Individually.
There you go.
Fuck
Right.
yeah.
And to his
I already
question
did.
specifically,
Yeah.
he's talking about a PW50. You
Exactly.
carry that around in your pocket. I mean,
Yeah.
you can put it in the back
Yeah.
seat of your,
Well, and the good thing is you could ride it around there.
Yes.
You
Yep.
know, you and the kid can ride around on it,
Oh,
put a pie
absolutely.
plate on it.
Absolutely.
And if the kid sells it out from underneath them, then
But
cool.
also, if it's a running and halfway decent looking PW50, there's almost a set price for those. Like if they still work, it's like $600, $800 or
Yeah,
something like that.
the
Like
sweet spot's about $800.
yeah, and if it's running with it, don't take less for that and expect to get about that. That's
Right.
what I would say for that thing.
And if you're looking for like an XR100 or something, you're going to go in about 200 more over what you got.
If he wants a competition 125,
That's
then
true.
he wants something like a CR 125 or a CRF 125, I guess. I don't know.
well, he talks about it for
Big
competition.
Wheel XR80.
No, he wants a 125 for his kid for a competition.
Was he
which
talking
means-
about modern or like a vintage?
Who knows? But it'll
125?
be at AMA.
That's true.
Yeah,
We'll all be there.
Yeah, it'll be at AMA. They'll all be there. That's exactly right. PW50.
Oh, I think that's what he's saying. He wants to pick a one. Maybe his kid can race with the bike he buys there.
That's
what
going
I'm
to be a
thinking.
stretch, but
That's
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it could happen.
Hey,
I would, if it was me, I would bring the PW50 to Mid-Ohio.
Right.
Because you can use it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're taking the product to the people.
yep.
Yeah.
And you can ride it around. If someone stops you and say, "Hey, I want to buy that,"
I love
right off from
I
under
love
you.
that whole thing. Yes, and
Yep.
do
Yep.
both.
Yep.
Do both. Pre-list it ahead of time, but like Sleepy says, make sure everybody knows that you will be delivery at Mid Ohio.
Yep, that's it.
Free delivery to AMA Vintage Days.
With title, notaries are there.
Whatever.
Yep.
No, but seriously, it makes
Oh,
it
yeah.
easy. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
notary right there.
And having walked back from the flea market back to the FEMA camp,
Yeah, right.
which is a mile,
yeah.
the best deals were in the stalls.
Yes.
Do you
by
know
far.
that just made me think of something? Do you know the day I realized I needed a new hip was the day that you dropped me off at the fucking swap shop to do something, and then
that's
you
right.
guys disappeared, and I walked back to the tent.
Right.
And when I got back, I was
Yeah.
like nauseous and white, and you guys were like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I don't know, but there's pain everywhere."
everywhere. I hurt everywhere.
Piper and I lost the Kimco 250 from underneath us the one day.
Oh, that's right.
Sold that.
That
out
is
from
right.
under- I like getting a bike sold out from underneath.
Well, I got the People 150 running. The People 200 is sort of running. It's going to be a little bit tricky.
Yep. I think I found the missing glove service access door.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get the door
cover.
off the middle?
The door off the middle is under the seat.
Okay, very good.
But the
anyway,
battery
this is a
cover
good
is-
running bike.
Oh,
so we'll
yeah.
sell that.
Quick
Another
question.
title.
I just
Yeah.
threw it in the garbage, but I could pull it out. It was the little plastic thing for a P125 that goes down in the bottom, like.
Yeah, that's the catch. That's the oil dripper catch.
It's not worth anything, right?
really.
I'm throwing
I'll
it
throw
out.
them away.
Throw 'em away. Would anyone like to guess what it costs to rent Mid-Ohio sports car course on a weekday?
25 grand.
I was going with 12.
It's $12,000.
Yeah.
Is
That's
it?
exactly right. It's $12,000 to rent it on a weekday.
Does that include the EMS and all that?
I have no fucking idea.
Because I think
Random facts.
Okay, because I think with
Random
the EMS
facts.
and everything.
Didn't do that much looking around, but I just think that when people are like, "Well, I wonder what it costs to rent this track for a day." It's $12,000. Right there, you go, for just a 1 day.
That's why the track day clubs exist.
Yeah, but you do like you want to do a photo shoot or you want to bring your test
Oh,
car
yeah.
out there.
Have
something
a
like that.
wedding.
Have a wedding, whatever. Right. Yep. So the Mid-Ohio.
Oh shit, dude! Think about that for a minute. Does that get you the paddocks and everything? Because if it is, that's probably cheaper than a fucking wedding venue,
I'm sure it is.
right? And then you could have the wedding in the paddocks and the thing. Then you could have the lap of victory for the goodbye. Oh man, I want to get married again.
Go up in the tower.
God,
do,
really?
do your nuptials in the tower.
Yeah,
Sleepy, how much is this one going to cost you?
dude, my last one cost me like $6. It was very.
Consummate,
Hey, wait.
consummate the wedding
Hey,
on the
Phil?
on the
Yeah.
straight.
Phil, aren't you ordained?
I am ordained.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Happy to help. Happy to help.
So if anybody out there
So you know what you do?
He's a
You
great
get a
ordained.
company together and you do a once-a-year motorcycle fucking racing wedding day.
hey, what?
And so then you sell the wedding package, $500 to anybody that wants to come. You get married, you get to do a lap.
I was going to say, what Patreon level do you have to be at to have Phil?
All the fucking cake you can eat.
All the fucking cake you can eat. Absolutely. So that was $250 per day golf cart rental at Mid-Ohio. So that's the argument for why you need to buy a $500 pit bike
Yeah, no shit.
is because that's $250 cheaper than a golf cart for 3 days. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the way to do that. Super. Don't get gamed. And we know they always bitch, moan, and complain. There's no fucking golf carts, right? It's just get a fucking pit bike.
Yeah.
Just get a pit bike. Buy a pit bike before you go there. Sell it when you get there.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Hey, this is when the whole Coleman deal pops up.
That's what I was just thinking. Exactly.
It's cheaper to buy a Coleman.
It is cheaper to buy a Coleman.
Here's a good idea.
Yeah.
Buy a fucking crate load of Colemans and take them down there and just sell them. It's like
Oh, yeah.
cheaper than a golf cart for the
I
weekend.
mean,
Right.
didn't you get that last one at $300 per?
It was about $5. It was
take it-
$500 because military discount. Yeah.
and take it home with you.
Ah, yes. I am. I'm very serious about the idea of going there this year and just maximizing events and just wandering around and you're like staying in motion the entire time kind of thing. I know it's very easy for me to take root once I get in the tent. And Tom, we talked about some ideas about like having the carpet and having the lift and everything else in there. It's a good idea. But again,
We need a cooler trailer. If we're going to be mobile, going to all these racing events
Yeah.
and sitting in certain areas, we need to bring the bar with us.
Yeah.
I always wanted a motorized picnic table with the built-in fucking with an umbrella and a cooler and just everybody just like, oh, that'd be.
And I don't mean bar like hog, just drinks because it's thousands of degrees.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
So
right?
Sleepy has come at this too late. And
I feel like it's going to be a hot one this year.
And the reality is the problem here is you have in your warehouse the most perfect bike to turn into a mobile bar. It's the TGB delivery.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
I know that was on the list of eventually.
Yeah, but their time is too short.
The time is too
Can't
short.
do it. Can't do it.
We're too close.
Just too much. Too close.
Now, I do
just
have a
too
Coleman.
close.
I do have an igloo fishing cooler, which we can do this with.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's still going to need a trailer.
I have two ways that we can get out of this situation. The first way out of this situation is very easy. I purchased one of those 5-foot long folding wagons, those Costco industrial strength wagons. I have a 90 or 50 gallon cooler that fits in it perfectly. That's easy enough. Just drag that fucker around with us.
The people that were living in my driveway,
Yeah.
they left their RV moving thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a dolly.
Oh, a dolly with
two
two
10-inch
dolly.
wheels with the thing on it.
Yep.
That you could put a fucking cooler on in 5 minutes, and that'll drag behind anything.
There you go.
Oh, all right.
we
We
go.
got a cooler on
Bring it.
wheels, man. Yeah, I'm already working
Bring
on
it.
it now.
We're on it.
Yep.
There you go.
That's happening.
I mean, if I was bringing my quad, you could just put it on the back rack and strap it down.
That's true.
I say you don't even need wheels.
And then tow a wagon behind that with chairs and a fucking...
Yeah, that's true.
You don't even need wheels. Just drag the cooler behind whatever
That's true. That's true.
through the grass.
rope.
Back in the old days, some had been riding it, but that's
Yeah,
beside the
exactly.
point.
Oh, we used to keep from Mardi Gras. We actually had those. The coolers you actually had the electric motor in.
Yep.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, until the battery failed.
Until the battery passed. So I didn't get to read this guy's. This is one of our Patreon members.
Yeah.
And he's been kicking in, and I think I missed his message, his introduction message, and I want to read it just because it's fucking cool.
Oh.
And I like, you got to admit, game recognizes game, right? Tony Summerscales. Tony says, "Hi, Phil and Teen. After many years of listening into your podcast, I thought it was about time to put my money where my mouth is and become a proper member. Thank you. We appreciate that."
That's cool.
And he's at the $5 level,
That's great.
right? He's at the $5 level. As a chap of similar vintage to yourself, and having a very high-stress job, I often find myself awake not long after 4 a.m. most mornings. More often than not, I'll reach for my phone and stick your podcast on. And spend the next hour or so listening to the most excellent motorcycle chatter. Apparently, we don't just put John to sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Bike-wise,
I wish you could.
Bike-wise, I've had nearly 50 different Japanese motorcycles over the years.
Hey.
But the current stable is 2 Victories and a Sherco Trials bike. Fuck your Sherco Trials bike.
Oh, nutsack eater.
Yeah, no shit, man.
Well,
you know
to
what? My ball hurts just thinking about the word Sherco
To
Trials
be fair,
bike.
they're both V92Cs.
Right, that's true, right? Sherco Trials bike. It's fucking, that thing's got a taste for blood.
I love it.
Tell him to put the fucking kill switch on the right side.
Don't ever take the seat off.
Don't ever take the seat
Don't
off.
ever take the
Tape
seat
it
off.
on, right?
Wait, those things have seats?
Phil did.
No, but if you take the seat off, there's a couple of nasty hooks on there.
Yeah.
But this is where it gets interesting, guys. As a UK-based member, I'm well aware of your rules around getting a well-stuffed box. But if there's a way that I can pay the postage, then I'd be more than happy to add a few extra beer tokens for your trouble. Keep up the great work. Ride fast and take chances, Tony. We covered you, Tony. We sent you a box. Because UK listener, all this good stuff.
He's cool as fuck, though, too.
Yeah, right?
He's got all the right credentials, man.
We've sent it via the Royal Mail.
Don't worry, this guy.
And I do like where he says it's also that I felt appropriate to introduce myself as we have slept together more times than I can remember.
I like this guy.
You fall asleep to the sound of my voice.
Right. Okay, so this big guy named Mark Sibbert's going to show up at your door.
Yes,
He's gonna knock
exactly.
on it, and he's going to be like, "I am here to deliver a box."
I'm here to deliver a box from Phil in Cleveland.
Since we're sending him back.
Oh my God. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Pretty fun. I don't feel.
International box.
I feel strange ever going so. I've been falling asleep with you for the past 2 years.
Yeah, we've been.
It's okay.
Most people do.
It happens. It's fine.
Everybody falls asleep.
It's fine. We don't care. Regarding the whole
listening to our soothing sounds.
sounds.
Our voice.
You're
And
getting
Feel
very
all your
sleepy.
muscles relaxing. Relax the muscles in your face. Now relax the muscles in your throat.
and get ready for this 26-inch sword.
And now imagine.
Feel
a
your
box.
anus releasing.
Renee
Feel-
has filled a box
Yes.
specifically for you.
Let all the tension in your penis go away.
Let the sun warm your yoni.
Wait, do you want the tension to go away?
Hey, you guys remember John Bonesteel?
Name like that.
Fuck yeah, name like John Bonesteel. Again, still wondering, is that his real name?
These are summer
Even if it's
scales, bone
man,
steel.
Bone
Come
Steel.
on.
We're just making these up at this
right,
point.
That.
These aren't real Patreon listeners. I've been paying my own Patreon for the past 20 years. Okay, but so John Bonesteel says, nobody ever asked for evil Malort. Because, at this podcast, I will be the first to admit, I don't even like Malort as a punchline.
I mean,
I'm done with that.
Such thing as good Malort.
I'm done with it. There's no such. I'm just done. Fernet about it. No,
Fernet.
just fucking. I'm just done with it. But here's Thank God John Bonesteel's on top of things, because John Bonesteel is not going to let us sleep on this shit.
Dude, I mean, he's a member of our Patreon, but now I want to see his OnlyFans.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, believe me, if you've got a name like John Bonesteel, my friend, it's
you
pretty
gotta
good.
own that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. What's your name? Dr. Von Cocktoastin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
That was the thing, is Dick Warlock. Dick Warlock popped again, which was Kurt Russell's stunt double.
Oh, really?
Dick Warlock is his fucking name. And
That's pretty
how
good.
do you not own a name like that? So Bonesteel you gotta own.
So wait, what are they putting in this shit?
I'm gonna fucking tell you.
It was in the byline at the very beginning.
I'm gonna fucking help you.
Do you think I could read it across the room that far away?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
In case Malort wasn't fucked up enough, like I said, my tasting notes were what? My tasting notes were
Grapefruit.
a dandelion surrounded by Midwestern dirt, put in a 1/2 of a grapefruit rind with a Newport crushed out in the middle of it,
That's pretty accurate.
with a dash of gasoline,
Colored pencil shavings
unleaded.
in turpentine,
All right.
distilled by a janitor at an art school in a closet full of moldy mops.
Or you could have a professional bartender pour you this.
I don't believe him.
The recipe calls for a fat wash with truffle and sesame oil, the aforementioned peppers, okay, including the seeds.
California Reapers.
Yep. Habanero, yeah.
Carolina?
Yeah. Carolina Reapers.
Oh, yeah,
Carolina Reapers.
Carolina.
Okay.
It's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
California.
You're with
so
me?
It's hippies.
Okay. Cuttlefish ink. To add a briny, low-tide salinity that ominously renders the spirit a silky, opaque black color. But again, the ultimate goal was to make this a drinkable liquid. I could, rot it, put it in an old shoe, do the grossest stuff in the world to it, but that would render it undrinkable. You have to make people still want to drink it. They've actually they've added a Newport cigarette to it. Okay?
Take me to the country.
Right? This is my thing here, where it's got cuttlefish ink, it's got Carolina Reapers, it's got cigarettes, and it's got worse, Malort.
Let me stop.
In case those other things weren't bad enough, it has Malort.
Let me stop everybody.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to do all this action, if you're
Right.
going to do all this work.
Yes, it's a lot of work.
Start with an alcohol worth of shit.
But
'Cause
the idea
Malort
is-
isn't really alcohol. Malort is just crap. It's
I
like the
think that-
PBR of alcohol.
I think if we just say, how do we want to make Malort worse, then that's easy. We just do horrible things to it, like
Yeah.
he says. But then he says, okay, if we take this, one of the first bartenders he poured a shot for literally jumped back and said, what the fuck was that? And after it settled in his mouth for a bit, he was like, why is it stinging? And he goes, I guess it's the Carolina Reapers and the cigarettes.
Yeah.
That'll do that. That will do it.
Like, you could literally do all this to vodka.
20 minutes later, the guy came back and said, can I get another one of those? Okay? This, to me,
I think this just shows that people are dumb.
Right.
people are dumb
Right.
for drinking Malort in the first place.
Yeah.
But then the fact is, Americans have enough time and money on their hands to truly fucking do a deep dive into what complements it. Where are you going to go? What flavor profile are you going to add to this to bring out? It took 15 iterations.
I could see the cigarette. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, Newport.
It took 15 iterations, each with varying salinity and fat wash ratios, as well as a careful reading of an article from the National Institute of Health on the solubility and toxicity of nicotine before Belden debuted his Frankenstein's monster.
This one is called Kissing a Single Mother and a Single Wide. What the fuck?
The whole idea of this, since its introduction several months ago, Evil Malort has been terrorizing and hypnotizing the bar scene of Western Massachusetts. According to Belden, who works at Northampton's
They
Tellus
really-
and the Satellite Bar,
They
people
really
see it on the
know
back
it.
bar and they're like, what is that? What is that going to do to me?
It's going to disappoint you is what it's going to do.
But nobody has responded with as much perverse curiosity as fellow bartenders. And this is what I can tell you, is being in this community, I promise you, nobody wants to see more blood and gore than a fucking ambulance driver. Nobody's got more intricate questions for you on mortuary science than people that are in the field. The manager of Northampton's green room, Anthony Borcato, traces notes of limestone, soil, and acid reflux in the spirit, or as they put it, Grandma's furniture when she still smoked. That's my favorite tasting note, by the way. The sales manager, the former sales manager of CH Distillery and Jepson's Malort, is a longtime fan of the funky vegetal notes of the spirit, and after a recent tasting, she zeroed in on the overwhelmingly fatty palate and briny spice of Belden's creation, describing the experience as akin to drowning in the Atlantic after taking a shot of Malort while chewing on a jalapeno.
This makes me want to drink again.
This makes me want to question why people have this much spare fucking time.
Exactly.
Because Jesus Christ, Malort sucks.
They're selling it
to
hard,
start.
Pete.
So,
It makes me think of like one of those hamburger restaurants where they're going to make some garbage plate hamburger.
Exactly.
Okay, we're
See,
going to put a
you know
dead
what?
fish on
You
it
know
and then
what? You know what?
cover it in pulled pork and
If
then.
you want to impress me, make this drinkable. Johnny Mac?
the ladder?
Yeah.
Oh.
Johnny Mac's Czechoslovakian.
The ladder liqueur.
That's no, that's from GGG. Oh shit, I forget where that.
Grutnastasan?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, Geneva, Grand.
Because
Fuck, I can't.
this I have tried to make this work, and
No.
it literally just tastes like if you're chewing on a 2x4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Malort.
You gotta put a couple rusty nails in the bottle.
Exactly. It
Okay.
needs some iron.
Some sandpaper.
But
That's
Malort.
Portuguese. That's Portuguese.
Portuguese. Okay, that makes more sense.
okay, well,
But Malort, it's not even good out of the bottle. There was no redemption, and you're just making it worse.
and yet I
by
know
trying
people
this
who
hard.
are straight up, who have gotten so deep into the fetish
Yeah.
that they're like, oh, pick me up a bottle of Malort when you're doing this, that, or the other thing. And I'm like,
We were at the yacht club next door to the old house one night, and this guy was like, "Oh, I've got this bottle, and no one can drink from it." And I literally picked it up off the bar and went,
Malort.
"Okay, it's Malort," and
Yeah, it's
put it
Malort.
back down. And he looked at me like I had two heads. I'm like, "Dude, it's Malort. It's not even real alcohol. It just sucks."
It's alcohol, Tom. It's 40% alcohol. It's 80 proof. And I promise you, I have seen people get stupid fucking
And
drunk
yet
on it.
James can drink a case of it and not.
James also has developed a Malort valve.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think James is drinking.
No, not
Malort
James.
anymore.
Other James.
No,
Kathy's
James.
James.
Yeah, Kathy's James
He's
in
a
Chicago.
he's a Chicago
He's from
chef.
Chicago.
And he does make it his passion of drinking Malort.
It is. It literally, he showed up at.
But I think his gallbladder or something is just turned into a Malort processing device.
Yeah.
That's all.
Dude,
Yeah.
I mean,
I've seen him super fucked up.
I didn't hate it, man. I actually drank a bottle
yeah.
of it
Right.
before I quit drinking.
It tastes
That
like
might have been.
when I used to chew colored pencils as a kid.
Maybe that's why you quit
I
drinking.
don't know, I've been. Yeah.
So
So back to the Honda.
So this was at AMA Vintage Days 2 years ago. Parker Zamarelli posted it out to me.
Parker posted.
Parker posted this up to me, and he showed me the picture, and I walked up and I went, nope, that's a fucking Honda-Davidson. And as much as I wanted to be like, oh no, I can see where they took a shortcut here, there's no shortcut here.
So do they put? So is it a Honda with the Harley?
That looks like
front
a
end?
CB 500 or 550 motor shoehorned
it's
into.
a 750.
Is it in the Is it a
Zoom in on that. No.
Is it in the Harley?
Yeah, it is.
It's a 750.
Is it
But
in the
no,
Harley or
but what's the
Honda
chrome
frame?
thing right on the top of the valve cover? Can you
Give me
zoom
a
in
second,
at all?
I'll pull it up so we can zoom in on it.
Yeah,
Let's get it closer.
I need to see a little closer because it
Because it's going to drive John. He's going to have
It's
nightmares
okay.
about this when he falls asleep. Finally.
does kind of look.
Let's email that to Mr. John, and we'll expect a full report on our desk by
Right?
next week.
But
Hold
I
on.
mean, the real question I have is it a Harley frame or a Honda frame?
So it's
That's a Harley frame,
part
dude.
of a Honda frame,
Okay.
and it's part of a Harley frame.
Okay.
We spent over an hour looking at this motorcycle, and here's what I can promise you. It is absolutely accurate to say that this is a Honda-Davidson, because I'm going to say there's just about a 50-50 on this thing.
Move your cursor.
There you go.
What? Okay, that is a 750.
It's a 750
motor. Okay,
motor.
I was just seeing a weird thing. I
And
thought there was something.
Single overhead cam.
One of
I
the
get it.
fellas that was with me when we were looking at it pointed out that it's a KO.
That's what I. When you look at the side panel.
The side panels alone are not KO. The carbs are KO. Everything's, and if you look at the castings,
4 cable carbs.
4 cable carbs.
You know,
So not only did
love
they
it for
cut
that.
apart a CB750, they cut apart what would in the future turn out to be the most valuable 750. And we followed the frame back, and at the top of the FLH shock absorber, right, and under the seat of the Duo Glide seat is a Harley-Davidson frame. The only part of that is a Honda frame is the part that's actually hanging the motor and feeding back into the drivetrain at the bottom of the triangle. So from the neck of the frame down to the bottom of the motor, from the bottom of the motor back to where that passenger peg is Honda motorcycles.
And they got lotus blossom
I-
mufflers sticking out there with the
I
heat shields.
cannot.
They sure do.
I don't think I could love this any more than I do.
And it is kind of shocking that somebody who was shy a Harley-Davidson motor decided that he's going to make the Honda motor fit in there, and then realized that in order to do that, he's going to have to cut apart the Honda. And he did. He cut apart the Honda.
You know the best part about this entire bike.
That's probably the best Harley Davidson ever built.
the best.
I think it was of this particular era.
The best, most favoritist thing
Yeah.
about this entire situation right
Yeah.
here is that it's going to piss off two geeks.
It's going to
Well,
piss
that's-
off
that's
two
what I said.
really.
That bike will do 100 mile an hour all day long.
two batches.
you will.
Two batches of nerds right now fighting over this fucking bike.
Yeah. And
I don't want it. I don't want it either.
I don't want it either. But based on some of the J.C. Whitney parts that are on the bike, a bunch of us kind of sat around, and I think we figured the build was about 1978. So based on the stuff that's on there,
because both of those bikes would have been worth absolutely one penny.
yeah,
Like they would have been disposable
right.
at that point.
They were not.
Because nobody was freaking going, oh my god, it's
The
a
Harley
Harley
wasn't
and
a-
oh my god, it's a 58 Harley, and
Right.
everybody
No.
would have been like,
No.
well that works.
That works.
And now everybody's like, oh
Yeah.
my god, you destroyed two perfectly
Yeah,
good
and we
shitty old
kind
bikes.
of we went through the whole thing and we looked at all of it and we were like, that's like I think this project was executed in 1978.
And
Yeah.
to be fair, 1978. Oh, by the way, drink.
To be fair, yeah.
1978 was kind of the sweet spot of when garbage from the 60s and 70s was worth nothing.
It was worth nothing. It was absolutely worth
and
nothing.
then after that, the
Yeah.
boomers
It was
went,
worth
oh my
nothing.
god, everything's worth money.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there was
you have nostalgia, dude.
Exactly.
Like, you can't deny nostalgia.
Oh, yeah.
well, and nostalgia got real popular.
Expensive.
Nostalgia, when we started going, you know what? Looking forward doesn't look so good. Looking back, it makes us feel better.
Yeah.
Well, not only that,
Right.
but I think like up until the boomer period, or basically our like them and then us now especially,
Yeah.
they're really people didn't really have nice shit.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like they just had sustainable stuff. Like you didn't look back at your teapot like, oh my god,
Right.
I really missed that teapot.
Well, and nobody ever looked back at their 1974 Philco television and go, that was the height of technology. I love that.
Right.
We
Right.
need more of those.
But it's all
Transistors,
about
nobody will
it was
buy
all about
those.
having that connection to whatever
Right.
it was. And that's what gives nostalgia. So
Yeah.
that's why when teenagers started to be able to have cars,
Right.
and they got their first little stinky pinky, that was
Right.
like now that's ingrained in your head, and boom, you know.
I really miss the shitty Ford Fairmont that I had when I was 16 and the Huffy BMX. But
to my point,
Yeah.
Dude, right?
Hey, man. Right? I mean, that's it. Like, the good old days weren't always good, right?
Right.
No.
And this is a prime example of, like, yeah, that is the
they were
$0 value. I can tell you from when I grew up and where I grew up, see that seat that's on that motorcycle? If you watch the movie Bike Riders,
Yep.
every motorcycle in that movie has that seat on it. But what I can tell you is when I was a kid in 1978, every garage in my neighborhood had 6 of these seats.
Taking off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every garage in my
Nobody
neighborhood
wanted that crap.
had 6 of those fucking
Yeah.
seats hiding behind it. Everybody was pulling that tank off. Now that tank is the tank that Harley Davidson's copying this year on their most expensive fucking FLH.
What's that ugly ass fiberglass seat that everybody threw away?
Superglide.
Superglide. Yeah, everybody threw that shit
Night
away,
Train
and now
Superglide.
it's worth a fortune.
Of course. And it's very funny that I'm
Or the
certain...
boat tail are you talking
The
about?
boat tail.
Boat tail.
Yeah.
That's they're all
Superglide.
so all those things I said are the same thing.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So those 3 things when
But
you
I
say
thought it was a specific, like the boat tail was a specific one.
He's
no?
gonna-
I'm going to pull it up for
Well,
you.
I don't doubt you. I'm
No,
trying
it's
to
okay.
learn.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
And the funny part is me being the not really give a shit about Harley guy that I am,
Right.
I'm like, you know what? That actually was kind of a cool moment.
No,
in
I
Harley's history.
love that Harley, but I
Well,
just
that was
I
a
didn't know that it
towing.
had. I thought it was always just the boat. I mean, I knew it was
it's the
something,
super- it's the
something.
Super Glide.
Gotcha.
Well,
Okay.
hold on, guys. Settle the fuck down because you're wrong.
No?
Okay, you're set. I'll just help you
I
out
could be
here.
wrong. I didn't even.
No,
I asked
Tom
a
is
question.
wrong.
Okay,
You're all wrong.
You're all wrong.
I was just
Wrong.
asking
There
questions.
it
I'm
is.
trying to learn.
All right,
man.
I'll help you out. So if you don't want to look like too much of an asshat, okay? The 4-speed Sportster XLH circa 1971 came for 2 years. The back of that thing was called the boat tail,
Yeah.
okay? That was the Sportster.
Okay.
You with
Yeah.
me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hang tight.
Is that the one I like, or do I like the other one?
Hold
Do you
on.
like that one?
I think I kind of do.
What do you think? I mean, you're a Harley guy now.
I like the boat.
Hold.
Brother.
Wait till you see the whites of Phil's eyes.
Are we edging? We're edging.
Not a bad
Edging.
idea. Not a bad idea. Yep.
Oh.
All right. Here we
That's,
go.
that's more edging I need from
Hold
you.
the line.
Okay.
Get it.
Hold the
Hold
line. Hold the line. Hold the line.
You're going to get it.
Because
Steady man.
Stand back
steady
and
man.
stand by.
Steady man. Stand back. Stand down and stand by.
Oh, God.
Okay. Okay. Here we go.
And now, full release.
Yeah. And wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. All right.
What's that thing again? No, I can't do it.
Oh, that thing. Okay. That's not what
That's not a Sportster.
No, that's not.
That's a Super Glide.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now you see the tail?
Nah, looks like
Yes. But is that so? That's
It's
also.
the same fucking tail. All right.
It looks so different on
It's
there, though.
totally
crap. It
different
does with that seat.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the two-step seat. I got you.
Yeah, that's what.
So this was two bikes of the same generation, the same era, right? And they both had the same problem
The same moment.
at the same fucking moment.
Yeah, they said
right?
Harley-Davidson down the
One
side.
was 1971, one was 1972, but I think that was only as a result of, what year they had the idea left over.
We get
Evil
it.
Knievel.
We get it. We had bad.
They
drugs.
couldn't sell 5,000 of them.
They had bad drugs during the 70s. We get
Okay.
it.
So the FL and the Sportster, the XL, each got a version. Okay. The boat tail name is associated with Sportster.
Okay.
The Super Glide name is associated with the FX, the big twin. Okay. The tail section is very similar between the two of them.
Okay. See, I did
Very,
not know
very
that.
similar
I
between the
always
two.
thought that there was only
Right.
the boat tail was just the sports.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is what
Okay.
causes kind of so much agitation is when somebody says, "Oh, it's a boat tail," when they're pointing at a Super Glide.
Right.
And,
Okay.
and to be honest, I didn't say it.
Okay.
See, to me, I love that. Look at that.
Well, but the problem
Okay,
is
it was fiberglass.
the problem is when
and if you put your aunt on the back
Yeah.
and she weighed more than $1.80,
yeah.
she broke it.
To,
yeah. Okay, that makes
you know,
sense.
if you're running, cocaine and illicit dick pills in the mid 70s, you
You
threw that
weren't. You
away.
were just running grass, dude. Let's
Well,
just
that's
say
true.
what it
Well,
was. It was
barbiturates.
1971.
Barbiturates.
You're running benzos and grass if you're
Benzos
lucky,
and
right?
grass.
Yeah, that's what it
And
was.
you threw that away and you bought whatever the hell Harley people jerked
Right.
off to in the 70s.
So the difference is on the Sporty. The Sporty is a flat saddle.
yeah.
Okay, so on the Sporty, the boat tail, it's a flat saddle. That's all it is.
That one looks nice. This one, no.
Oh, that,
It looks like a ride that a little kid would ride at.
Now I happen to love the 1971 Sportster gas tank,
Avery,
but
well,
I despise that seat.
when
I see, I love
when
it.
we were kids, every stupid little ride around in a circle,
Yeah, every Jogga Lake ride.
Carver
Yeah.
ride,
That's what
was
that looked like.
literally looked just like that bike, which is why we look at them and go,
Yeah.
"Oh no, that's really cool."
Yeah, because a nice long bench seat, you can fit 3 kids on it. Yeah, everybody's happy.
But the
right?
reality is,
Right.
everybody from this time period looked
Right.
at that and went, "You know what? I could just put some crappy seat on there and run drugs."
dude, give me that.
You keep in
Give me
mind
one of
that
those.
and
Some of the style elements of that are cool, but look
Right.
at that wimpy looking swing arm, though. It
the
just,
swing arm is it's a one. And Steve or Pete, it's a 1-inch pipe.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
1-inch diameter pipe.
Well, how much did that motor made? What, 38 horsepower? So
Maybe on its best day.
they really
And
weren't worried
this
about
is that
it.
era when the
They said they claim that it's a 54 or 61 horsepower
When-
V twin with
when-
4-speed manual.
This is that era when the electric start would literally crack the engine case, though, too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
It
like
was-
you
they
hit the
weren't-
button and it
they
would
weren't
just
great.
freaking break in half.
Yeah, they weren't great.
530 pounds and 50 horsepower. That's a smoker.
Yeah, and you know what? And the good news is the brakes are shitty.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
You could either have this or the 750.
So the
Ducati
boat tail,
750S.
Super
Or a really
Glide,
shitty Triumph.
right? Yeah,
You could have the oil and frame Triumph for the same money.
absolutely, right? Yeah.
Somebody's blower is blowing.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, I would take that. If anybody wants to give me a boat tail, I'm in.
well, it's got that glitter flake bass boat blue that I
yeah.
love. I actually love the paint on that. I'm not gonna lie.
I like everything about that bike, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? You're not wrong. Like that is because this is the high point, personally, since I was born in '74, of design. Is that weird mid '70s bass flake metal, craziness that we had the big wheels.
And I'm a
the
little
Hot
older
Wheels,
than
the
you,
red
so
lines.
to me, this is nothing but an embarrassment. To me, this is just like, wow, that's America's low point.
This coming from the guy that has fetish collections of vehicles that
Right.
like are very unique, and yet
You know what?
this the most fetishy weird Harley. You're like, no.
I mean,
No, because it's just failure.
mean-
it just sucks from the front to the back.
The only
Do you know what you know what BMW was doing in 1971?
not this.
Not this.
No.
You know what Honda was doing in
It's pretty
1971? They had disc brakes.
hey,
right?
when was the X75 Triumph?
Also, yeah,
When
right.
was the Triumph? Because that was
Yep.
this was that the Trident, the Trident, the X75 was about this same time, and I love that fiberglass crazy
Yep.
early '70s totally drug influenced fucking bike.
And that was a Craig Vetter design.
Oh, yeah, that was Craig Vetter.
Right. Yeah, that's Craig Vetter design.
I mean, I
and
still
it's
have a-
very pretty.
I have a scar on one of my thumbs from an X75. So
Right. Yeah. But it's a very pretty
But
bike.
I love that early '70s crazy Evil Knievel when Evil Knievel was doing the X750 and stuff and the Lavertas. I love that crazy bass flake craziness.
Yep. Yeah. But I just if I'm going to weigh in on something, I'm going to say
that right
the
there is-
X75.
That is the best motorcycle.
The seat is not
ever
a
built.
sex crime.
Oh, I love that bike.
Right.
I love those. I want my Thruxton to have that body kit.
Wasn't there one at the Columbus or the Cincinnati show we
Yeah.
went to?
That was a knockoff.
Yeah.
That was a body kit for an
And just
X650.
and just remember, this is that BSA was gone. BSA was gone by 1973. And if you couldn't hear the dying gasp
Oh yeah.
of, hey, guess what?
But I wanted to buy that. I think it was a Tracy knockoff body kit at Cincinnati.
Yep.
I would love to have my Thruxton look just like that.
Sure. Yeah, it's cool.
'Cause
I mean,
it's
I get
beautiful.
it.
That is beautiful to me.
But this to me is not as much of a crime.
That's
It
wacky
looks like
racers.
a horse. It looks like if a horse was a motorcycle.
Yeah, as a boat tail.
Oh, yeah.
And the boat tails, and to me the Super Glide, the FL, to me the Super Glide is a bigger crime because
Yeah.
don't take this the wrong way. Everything was wrong with this motorcycle. Everything was wrong with this motorcycle. This was as AMF as AMF got, but it had disc brakes on the front and the back.
Yep.
It had a legit nice gas tank. And everything was okay with this bike except for the passenger seating area. And everything about this bike was totally normal. And once you took and they couldn't sell them, nobody would buy one.
yeah.
So the trick was you just buy one, take all that red, white, and blue shit off the back, throw it in the trash, and put a real seat and a real fender
this
on
was
it. And a lot of guys did.
What is the Triumph Jubilee was about this
it's
time?
Jubilee, yeah.
The silver on silver.
Yep.
I think I may have saw Gorbo today.
What?
Coming down my street, I saw a guy on a Triumph,
Yeah.
like a Thruxton or something
Gorby?
like that, and I could have swore it was Gorbo.
That's-
I yelled at him.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that all tracks. Oh, speaking of which, I bought fucking raffle tickets today for a 1200C.
Oh, you too.
Did you? I'm not the only one.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you too? Get out of here.
I will play the James Bond theme song on a freaking.
No,
Bluetooth
wait a
speaker.
second. I thought I was the only one.
No.
Oh my god.
I thought I was the only one that did it. I'm sorry. We got very excited.
No.
Sorry, we got all very
R1200
excited.
Skid Mark with their R1200C.
I did not.
I always wanted a VMAX.
You know what?
I wish you all the worst of luck in winning this bike, I just must say.
Having worked on a number of R1200Cs, I would totally own that bike.
Okay,
You guys
so
just exploded. the
I'm
board.
sorry. Okay, all right. So when you guys bought your tickets, Dan,
Yeah.
how many tickets had been sold?
I didn't look.
You didn't look.
Oh, there was only 16, I think, when I bought it.
Yeah, when I bought mine, there were 41 tickets sold.
Yeah, there were no tickets.
And there's only like 9 days left.
Yeah.
Right? So the podcast will have just basically dropped.
Yeah.
It'll be the last chance for somebody to buy tickets.
Yeah.
2001 BMW R1200C in very fetching blue.
Who was here pimping it?
That was
Noble.
Steve Noble.
Noble was here pimping the
Yeah, Steve
R1200C. And if you haven't bought your tickets yet, what is wrong with you?
Well,
Is-
it could be like a lot of people says that it's not even worth $40.
I'll give you a donation.
To run the risk of this thing having to show up in my. Hey, the last bike that they raffled off, nobody picked up.
Right.
It got redonated back through.
I would ride that bike until...
Which sucks, because I really wanted that fucking Road King, dude. I would have ridden the
I know
shit
you would
out
have
of
ridden
it,
the shit
man.
out of that bike.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely know that.
From a rideability standpoint, it's a great bike. I just couldn't respect myself being seen on it.
Unless you're a vampire and your reflection doesn't appear in shop windows as you go by.
Yeah,
James
exactly.
Bond.
Right. I totally
Dude,
agree.
I would fucking adorn my pink DJR suit and ride that thing everywhere.
And that would be, that would be appropriate.
Just for the absurdity of it, I love that bike.
Yeah.
It is everything a German chopper should ever be.
Well, Lizzie, who we were talking about before, about one of Steve Noble's classes, is relacing your wheels.
Yeah.
And Lizzie is the instructor for. Lizzie's the one lacing the wheels, right?
Yeah.
And since Bob the wheel guy may, for all I can tell, be dead, Lizzie is now the wheel guru in our neighborhood. So if you've got spokes you need put together,
Yeah.
Lizzie's who you call. And so she was in the shop the other day, and she's all getting ready for AMA Vintage Days and stuff too. And I was like, how's that raffle going? And she's like, oh, it's not going so good. I was like, yeah, okay, all right. And the bike was donated. So, ADV Moto donated the bike, so that's cool.
I stand by this. If you win it and you don't want it, I'll give you $1,200.
Right.
How much are tickets? There you go.
$40.
$40.
$40.
Like,
Well,
I would own this bike. I
li-
love the R1200C.
I like when they put all the parts together. They're like, we're not going to be able to reach the handlebars. Well, we'll just make them longer.
No, it is the wacky racer of German motorcycles.
Pete, you are 100% correct. Because the first time I sat on one of these motorcycles, I just said, exactly how long are these handlebars?
Yep.
And they're very, very
they
long.
are.
And they don't go
are.
up. They go back.
This is somebody in Germany went, I want a chopper. I would like a chopper. And this is what they got.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
What is I would like a chopper in German, actually, because you speak German.
Ich möchte ein Chopper.
Yeah, exactly. Ich möchte ein Chopper. Yeah.
This is what they came up with.
If you're Southern German, it's ich. And if you're Northern German, it's ich.
Yeah.
But you know what would
möchte
fix
ein
this?
Chopper.
Ich
A
habe
fairing.
gern
You just
ein
gotta slap
Chopper.
a fairing on it. Just slap a
Oh,
fairing
have you never seen the RC? The one with the fairing and the touring boxes?
The RC
it's
is
insane.
absolutely disgusting.
It is absurd. It is the
I'm getting moist.
Total
Bring it
fairing.
up.
what's the Venture? The Yamaha Venture, but the late model that actually looks like a chopper.
It's the
And the R1200 RC
RC
is ridiculously worse.
Yeah, I think that's the.
Am I fucking this up?
I don't know. It just sounded nasal.
Was it the RT? I think it was the RT.
No, I think it's the RC.
Yeah,
Maybe
RC
the
just
RS?
comes up as that. Yeah, give me a
Maybe the
second.
RS.
Let me chew on that for a second.
It's German. It's BMW, so I might have my acronyms wrong.
Right.
I don't think it's the
thought-
RT.
No, it's the RT is that.
Yeah, the RT is the sport bike you looking
Well,
for.
the R1200 RT is a different
CT.
bike. CT? Oh,
C for
CT.
cruiser, T for touring.
It has got this bizarre,
Well, first of all, it has 6 fucking headlights. So we're going to start with that.
Oh, I think I want it.
oh, it is insane.
So we're going to start with 6 headlights.
Oh,
it is.
bring it over here, baby.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
It looks like a spider.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
I
No,
need
it is.
this.
It is ridiculous, and it is great.
That is
great.
That is a brilliant motorcycle, dude.
I would rather ride that one than that.
Me too.
The
I'll
naked
take
bike.
this all
Yeah.
day long, dude.
But no, you haven't got to the really ugly part of it yet. Yeah.
Well, they've covered up all the ugly parts with the
you're
fairing.
right.
But
You're
wait,
right. They
there's
did
more.
cover up all the ugly parts.
I'm sure they have like a fucking Mack truck headlight you could replace all those with.
You could just go to one headlight as
Yeah.
opposed to the 4 that are on there. Yeah. And that's like the whole thing about the family truckster. If you think you hate it now, wait till you drive it.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's one of those
No,
things.
but think about it. So that's the German version of the Harley front end, because the Harley has the big round headlight and then
Right.
the 2 subsidiary ones. So they just broke the main one into 2 and then put the running lights next to it. It makes sense.
It looks like the monsters from the Matrix.
I love it. Yeah, it does. But I love it.
Yeah, it looks like the
Now that I know
the
this
bug things
exists,
from
I
Matrix.
have to have one.
And just think about how proud you'd be.
I'm going, dude. You have no idea.
I'm gonna pull
After
that
vintage
stupid
days.
picture up so our people at home can see it, because it is a fantastically ugly motorcycle.
Oh, you could put stickers on it.
You could put stickers on it. Oh, sleepy.
Just
oh,
making it interesting, man.
Just put stickers on it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Put a bird on it, dude. You'll be fine. Yeah, the R1200CL. CLC for chopper and L for luxury. Yeah, that's the CL for you right there. It is such a disgustingly ugly
You know
motorcycle.
what? This is the Jabba the Hutt of motorcycles.
It is the Jabba the Hutt emote. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. It's so bad. It's just so bad. Yep. Yeah. It's just not a great looking motorcycle. But yeah, for $40, I'm in on the game for a C. You know, what the fuck? And that's kind of what I was looking at. I was like, you know what? For $40, you drive it around for a week, sell it before the ABS system totally shits a bed and tries to kill you.
Sell it for $50.
Yes. No. Scrap value alone is $150, I'm sure. Yep.
Oop, here we go.
Yeah. What you looking at there, Sleepy?
That bike, $2,500.
Oh, that's too much money. $40. I'll give you $40 for the raffle ticket.
But it's still in the crate.
This guy wants $6,000 for the R1200CL.
What?
Dude, it looks good in person.
No fucking way.
Look at that. That's a good looking bike, man.
No, it's not a good looking bike.
No way.
No way.
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 It does actually look pretty good in black on black.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
see, there
really
you go.
shiny and really
Yeah.
shiny.
Yeah, look, that's
It's not matte black, is it?
What is the R1200 RS with the black on black with the
I mean,
black
look
and
at
the white
that. It's got
pinstripe?
like a scoop on the side there.
Yeah, look at that. It's got a scoop.
And look at the exoskeleton sticking out.
If I got it for $40, I'd be happy.
Oh yeah, for $40, I'm happy. Yeah, for $40, I'm
I'd
thrilled.
go 80 deep on that.
I'm buying one of these. This is my next bike, man.
Do it.
Go for it.
I believe that's the move right there. Yeah, I'm not all over. I mean, hey,
Before they go off the charts.
yeah, before they really hit their stride. Yeah.
Well, the
Look at this one.
Not to belabor the situation.
Oh, yeah.
Here's some things on that motorcycle you don't ever want to touch. Okay? Just having been down this road a couple of times.
I know some of them, but yeah.
One, head gaskets.
Been
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
Clutch.
Two, the entire fuel injection system.
Been there.
You don't want to do that. The entire ABS system.
Been there.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay. You'll do the final drive seal at least 3 times.
Yeah, the R1200 and the GS of that era were really bad about the back ends.
And again, if you buy everything and do it once, you will learn that what you've done doesn't buy you another 25 or 30,000 miles.
No, absolutely not.
You get 5,000 more miles if you're lucky.
Yeah, the R1200C and the GS of that
Yeah.
era really were bad about the pumpkins.
I've had countless numbers of R1100 RTPs,
Yeah.
at least 4. And what I can promise you is that falls under the category of that which BMW hath assembled, let no man disassemble, because you ain't going to put it back together the way they did. You'll try,
No.
and it'll be
Oh,
oil tight. It'll be oil tight for a little while.
After doing the blue tech a couple
Yeah.
times on both
Yeah.
Goodsey's and BMWs, I finally just started sending them out because
I've been I've had mixed results is the nicest possible way to say
Dicam and shimming only gets you so far.
it just doesn't work. So I have not had good success once these motorcycles get to around 45, 60,000 miles.
Yep.
And at that point, you're just throwing your money away.
Yeah.
And, getting rid of the ABS system and stuff, bypassing, that's probably a really good idea as opposed to trying to keep it alive. Because you're just wandering into a land of perpetual fucking warning lights and perpetual ABS systems chasing its fucking tail. It never is good. It's never fine. After the first time it goes, it's just,
Because I think
doesn't end
these
well.
are the dual servo pump, which is they actually do not make the motors for the servos anymore. So you actually have to recycle. The company that I sent them off to actually recycles pumps.
Oh,
and
they do?
They actually mix and match until they find two good used ones and put them back.
That's a
together.
hard way to go.
And then the later ones are actually cool because they actually have the single pump, which is perfect. But
Yeah.
this one gets tricky, so you might as well just go ahead and rip it out.
Well, I mean, there you go. I mean, that's a tough.
Like like I said, I would totally own that bike just because it's absurd. Mm-hmm. And it falls.
It
in
is
the
absurd.
category.
It is absurd.
Like I would rather have this than my ancient ass Eldorado that has the leaking rear main seal. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Wow. That's
Sleepy,
just
I think
terrible.
that's me, but I think it's because it's caught on your neck.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, so Sleepy's moving around and it's actually hitting the cord.
He's caught my cord and it's making the noise.
It is making the
Feeding
noise.
back into the
There's no
speakers.
cord. Where's the cord?
It's to your left.
Yeah. I will. I have to come on. I have to absolutely go on the record and say that the James Bond version,
Oh, they actually have 007.
the ivory version.
Yeah.
The ivory version is the best looking.
Well, the ivory and the black both, because I've worked on both of
Yeah.
that edition, actually have 007 across the top of the gas tank.
Yeah.
Hysterical.
That is hysterical. But I have to say, of all the colors that this bike has ever appeared in, I have to admit that by far the most appealing of them is that very Bavarian Alpine white.
Yep.
That very creamy, rich-looking. Hoffert's bike was this color. His old bike was this color, and it's just
it
really a good-looking color.
It really does.
It does contrast all the painted fake aluminum.
It's a
and the
horrible
fake
artist's
chrome.
rendition of the R69.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Because it is just this.
because if you get rid of the front forks, the rest of it's kind of.
But it's got
forgivable.
that weird shock in the middle cantilever thing that BMW decided was the way to go with the front end.
The telelever.
Yeah, the telelever. Thank you.
Yeah,
Because
telelever.
I had forgot the name of it.
Yeah,
Well, it's
telelever.
supposed to stop dive, right? It's like
Yeah.
anti-dive.
Oh no, it engineering wise, the bike is perfect. The problem is, looks wise, it looks like a German went, you know what? That chopper craze we can get in on, and everybody went, no, you can't.
It looks like you took a chopper and parked it in front of a funhouse mirror.
It sure does, doesn't it? And I think that this is also
I one time
what happens
had
when
a confrontation with a guy who was on one of those,
Mm-hmm.
and me of all people yelled at him and said, "Get a real bike."
And you were on like an RX.
and you're on a Vespa P125.
Dumb.
This is one of those motorcycles that I imagine the design meeting went a lot like this. But you don't understand. I have actually seen a chopper.
Yeah, right.
And the other guy was like, choppers are dumb. No, but I have seen one with my own eyes.
And the weird part is that rear tire is big. It's stupid.
It's super fat.
It is really
super,
a big, like it's a
super
180
fat.
or something
It
stupid.
is much bigger than that.
I
It
think
is
the
a
front
giant
tire
rear
is big.
Yeah.
The back tire just makes the
And
front tire
it's just
like.
it's so bizarre. Like I want to dress up as Muttley and ride the thing.
Well, again, yeah.
Tom, you could pull that off too.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, from the same part of the planet that brought you every Ural chopper.
Oh, yeah.
And there is no such thing as like, oh, it's a great looking Ural chopper. And you're like, that is not a great looking Ural
There is
chopper.
nothing. Everything about that bike says German. There is nothing attractive about that bike.
No. That,
Like every angle you look at it, you're like, no, it looks horrible.
it
All
looks
right,
terrible.
I'll take the front forks and the front wheel.
You know
Okay,
what?
all
and
right,
the headlight.
but
I
no,
will not take those handlebars.
Yeah.
I'll take the front suspension.
Well, because the air scoops on the side are actually where the oil coolers
Correct.
are, which
That's
is
where the oil coolers
hysterical.
are.
Well,
Yeah.
check this out. So now put this in the position that's a transformer, and the only thing left of the old bike is the fork and the headlight.
Right.
Exactly.
And the rest of it's like.
Exactly.
Yeah, everything else turns into something else.
Yeah.
You know the backrest is actually the passenger pad, which is hysterical.
You press the button on this, it turns into a ditches
out,
pretzel stand.
and the pad
just made
it
me hungry.
literally has the tiniest passenger pad ever.
Well, that's because German ladies tend to be petite.
Svelte.
Really?
Don't.
Really? How much time have you spent in Germany?
I was just trying to
Okay.
come and go.
All right. Good enough. Right. Yeah. All right.
I worked at a German bakery in my high school years.
Spend a little time at Opera House.
Shout out to Reineker's Bakery, still the best fucking German bread and
So anyway,
and Schnitt. No, Krugel. What's the fucking whatever? Good German bakery, man. That's hideous.
That actually is a year old chopper.
That's an
isn't
actual
it?
Ural chopper.
Oh wow.
That's what happens when a Russian guy sees a Harley Davidson. Yep.
You nailed it.
Yeah,
Dude, that
it's
looks-
Pravda.
This
it
okay.
looks like a Pagsta.
But here's the sad
It
part.
does look like a Pagsta.
The people that buy the toys for Dollar General.
Yes, that's
they're
what it is.
We
Yeah.
need you to make this. This is the motorcycle that we would like you to make for every
Right.
one of our Dollar.
Well, there's no
Yeah.
copyright infringements with
That's,
that.
I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Nobody in Russia from Ural is going to come out and come after you.
All right, I was watching some old like music videos on YouTube recently or something,
Yeah.
and like Van Morrison and them.
Yeah.
There's a video, and it's obviously shot in Europe or
Czechoslovakia.
yeah, they're riding.
Was it
They might have
pre-wall
been-
or post-wall?
Oh, this
It was
is-
shot pre-wall.
No. This
The wall was up.
Yeah. This is probably from the late '60s.
Yeah, so the wall was in full bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But they're riding choppers that are either Euros
Right.
or BMWs that have been made in the
They're made in choppers. Yeah.
But I was, and some of them are Harleys and Hondas and shit
Right.
in the video too. But I was like, check the I never saw.
I mean, in Europe in the 70s, Harleys were hard to come by.
Yeah, right.
BMWs weren't.
But they wanted choppers. Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's, I hate to admit that this is how I got into motorcycles, but my dad, growing up, was based in Germany.
Right.
With the Air Force.
Yeah, okay.
And he won his BMW motorcycle in a poker game.
Okay.
Because they were absolutely fucking
They were worthless. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
The BMW I bought
And
was...
he tells me about all
free.
the stories about him riding up to Holland and everything else. We drank at the same bar in Amsterdam and shit. And he was mad at himself because when he came back, he could have paid, $10
Mm-hmm.
to have them ship the bike back. And he thought, no, you know what, I'll get back and I'll just buy one.
Yeah.
And he got back and BMWs were worth money. And he went, fuck.
Yeah.
So he ended up buying a Chrysler. But the entire story about, him winning a BMW in a poker game, I was like,
Right.
God damn, that sounds like fun.
I bought my first BMW, my R69 in Germany.
Yeah.
And I paid the equivalent of $800 US for it. And then I found out after the fact that I had bought it that I had been sorely ripped off by the guy who sold it to me because he was like the auto car salvage junkyard guy dealer. And when I bought it and I was so happy with it and I've taken it out, my German friends were kind of like, you paid what for that? And at the time it was like almost 2 to 1, right? So I was like, oh, I spent like 1,400 marks on it or whatever. And the guy was like, you got hosed. That's like a 500 mark bike. That guy took advantage of you. And I'm like, all right, okay.
And now an R69 is worth about 20 grand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Again, it wasn't in 1987. I can promise you that.
No.
There was, it wasn't like anybody was crying
Well,
because
R69 wasn't worth money until about 10 years ago or so.
They
This is
did
that whole
come into their
nostalgia
own.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they did come into
I
their
worked
own.
on an R50 not too long ago, and the guy was expecting $8,000 when it went to market. I was like,
Nah,
for an R50?
not gonna happen.
There you go. Look at that.
There you go.
Yeah, so this is Watanabe, and anybody's familiar with custom bike builders.
Like,
Watanabe's he's just got his own look. So you either love it or hate it. I love it. I think it's pretty
I
cool.
gotta admit, I love that.
But he does some off the wall shit. Like he gets a wild hair up his ass.
Having worked on a number of plain Jane black on white pinstripe BMW R everything.
Yep.
That bike right there, I like.
I've got 6-inch over Honda forks if anybody wants them. All the glorious
I mean, you
CB
can buy an
450
R60
chopper
for
anybody
about
wants for free.
$500 on it,
Yeah, and so kind of this project, this bike that he built, where I'll pull it up so the podcast listeners can look at it too. What I think is probably, if you rode this bike one time, this would be a lot like the bike that John dragged home. The riding position on this, it's not going to be fun.
Oh, it's got to be uncomfortable as hell.
It's not going to be anything cool at all.
It looks like it'd go over backwards too.
It looks like a lot of things. Like you could drive over a railroad tie and never hit it.
73-ish with those disc brakes in the front. Those are those crappy ATEs.
Yeah, I'm promising you that this is going to be no fun to ride.
But it's fun to look at.
It's fun to look
got the
at.
mid mounts too. Yeah, because it's got the you can't get anything else out of it.
It's just a weird bike.
Yeah,
but this is a Mid Ohio special. I love how the 100% vertical rear shocks are actually technically leaning backwards.
That's what I mean. That's why it looks like it'll go over backwards.
It does.
His weight is right.
He's
over
already
there.
halfway there.
Yeah.
Has he just done that weird late? Because like in the late '60s, early '70s, you could do the extensions on the forks where you just push the forks out like 3 more inches.
Just put them out further. Yeah.
And then
his steering tube angle actually looks pretty normal.
Yeah, no,
he doesn't really kicked it out too much. Yeah, but God, you're a foot over on those things, maybe more. It's just bonkers.
One of the problems I have lately, because our generation and younger generations have gotten away from customizing things. Abusing things.
Right.
Is that we don't kind of see this stuff as much as we should.
No, you're right.
And that's sort of sad. To me, that's kind of sad. Is you buy something and just no, I'm leaving it stock because I don't want to fuck it up.
Well, the new aberration is the tuner world. Instead of like bolt-on shit or like fabbing stuff like did when we were kids.
Oh, they're making stupid stuff.
Now that
this is why I like the Groms and the Nobbies is because the kids go crazy.
Yep.
Groms, Navis, and Ruckus, they go crazy. But when you get to bigger bikes, they just kind of do nothing.
Right. Well, and
This is actually an early prototype for the R1200C.
I was going to say, yeah, this is the very first.
Yeah,
this is the prototype.
Dan just sent the prototype to the R1200C.
Oh, God, what'd you get?
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot all about that.
What is that?
Holy shit!
Which one?
I forgot all about that fucking abomination.
Oh, wow. That is
Find a way to throw that up to the screen, Dan.
He texted it.
He texted you.
Okay, but that doesn't mean I can throw it up to the screen because you texted it. It goes into my phone. Yeah.
Let me email it.
This is interesting.
Because there's no drops of that. That is just a standard BMW R90 or 100.
Yeah. This
With like a-
is this that shit show that was over at Larry's shop for a while at BCF Cycle?
I don't know.
I think it was.
Yep.
I think it was. Yeah.
Definitely the same one.
It's
But
the
like-
same one. Yeah, it's that fucking bike. And did he end up buying that, or did he end up bringing that home, or was it just one of those things that was
I
like
think it was just somebody who came
just
by his
showed
shop.
up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it showed up one day, and I do remember seeing that at some point it was for sale.
Let
it's just truly.
this be a PSA. If you're out
You know what?
there,
We're gonna close on this. Dan's gonna send that to my eBay,
There you
to
go.
my Gmail.
Yeah, I sent it to
Where'd you send it to?
one of them.
One of them. Okay. you know what they are. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll find this, and there it is. Yay, we found it.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
Make it worse.
Dick pic. What is dick pic?
What?
Dan, what?
Oh, don't
what's-
put that up there.
Oh, it says he actually bought this bike.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
BCF, our latest acquisition.
Yeah, then he did buy it. Oh my God. that thing is-
66 BMW chopper.
So
So this
One
is-
of 3 built in Germany, then brought over here. The gentleman I purchased it from is riding it since 81 as a daily rider. Wow.
Damn, what a fucking train wreck.
So this is your mission to go out and buy a $300 Honda and chop the
So
hell out of it.
Bad.
I'll give you one for free.
There, see, Mac will give you one for free.
Yeah, it's so fucking bad. Come on, buddy.
Because if there's any one thing we need in this life, is more chop.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
So just get you a Honda Hawk.
I can't.
'cause they're
Oh,
worthless.
don't forget, in
cast
2 weeks
this
they're going to
fucking
have
thing.
all the chops
There
down
you
at
go.
Hale Farm.
Yeah, and that's kind of odd, right? I mean,
Yeah.
doing that is the same exact weekend as AMA Vintage Days.
They just feel
that's
it's
an
not
odd.
going to hurt them. They're going to be
That's an
fine.
odd deal. Yeah, I saw the pre-party and post-party, the during party and the after parties at all the little parties that are going on. That but it does seem like. I mean, I like to spend a couple 3 days at AMA Vintage Days. Maybe. I guess maybe it would be cool to do the side quest to go over to.
Well, if we'd gotten the buddy
Thing?
thing together, that would have been a thing. Mm-hmm. It's just bust your buddy over to fuel.
That's fine.
But side quests are great.
I'm not joking when I tell you that I cannot find. Just can't open this. I've tried. I cannot open it.
It's just, it's
There's no way to open it. We're gonna make that the show notes
Coming
because
soon.
it's fucking
The
disgusting.
computer screen near
It's
you.
truly disgusting.
So
but
imagine
I'm-
an R1200C, but worse.
Yeah, because I cannot. I've tried. Well,
I
you know
draw
what?
us a
Hold
picture.
on, we're not done yet. We're not dead yet, folks. We're not dead yet. It won't let me cast the entire fucking page. Oh, you stupid monster. Yep.
Technology. It sucks.
Well, it's just that there's points where Facebook or Chrome doesn't want to play nice together. Yeah, they just don't, and it's just not playing nice. Sorry, guys. Hate to make you
that
listen through
thing.
that because
That's a real early motor too, because it's got that round front on it. So it's still a /2.
yeah.
So yeah.
Did you send me? Can you send me that link in
the
Facebook? I
loop?
can open that, I guess.
That loop in the back.
Yeah, I could try that.
That's a /2.
It is a /2. That's a /2 motor for sure. I'm 100% on you
and
with
the
that
loop
one.
on the rear end.
It's got the smart valve covers and stuff too.
Yeah,
Yep, I completely agree. Yep, I'm 100% with you on that one. But just not coming up with it in normal.
Does it have a seat? Is that what that?
So
is that,
sad. I
Yeah,
can't
there's
look at
there's
this.
a small padded seat too.
Okay, I thought that
All
was
right.
metal.
Did you send it to me, Dan? In Messenger or something?
Hang on.
Okay. Yeah, because the people have to see this now. It's gotten too ridiculous.
The people must know what
The
it
people
looks like.
must know.
It's worth it.
It is worth it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Try it again.
Okay, very good.
It has two nipples for a gas tank, like the fill nipples.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's try it again. Let's see what we got there.
It's so bizarre, man.
Did you send it to? Did you send
Phil
it to my
has two
Facebook?
nipples,
Your
too.
Gmail again.
Oh, that is.
Oh,
not,
it's okay.
yeah, I can appreciate that, but it's not. It's just that it will not let me open it. It will not let me open that and cast it to those screens because for some reason my Gmail it will not cast out to Chrome, and it just won't. You know.
Probably for security.
Hey, baby.
True.
I've right-clicked on the fucker every goddamn where I can right-click on it. I cannot make it. Yeah, I cannot make that. I can open it in a new window. Doesn't seem to make it.
I shared
up
it to your Facebook profile.
Oh, you did? Okay, that's how we're gonna get it up there. That's how we're gonna get it up there.
Don't worry, folks. We'll get it up.
Oh, you say that.
Dan sent the blue pill.
You say that, my friend, but I don't think it's true. There it goes. Yay! Cool. Cast
see,
that,
Alex.
bitch.
To the rescue.
All right, there it goes. Ta-da! There we go.
There she is.
Yeah. Now the people can see it at home.
Boy.
It is so ugly.
So what is that? The Santa? Is it Santa Cruz or Santa Fe? What is the? There's a weird chopper style about that.
I've no idea.
Well, that looks like it's the same color and the same shape as the one Skid Mark's getting away.
Santa.
All right, so now the people at home can finally see this abomination, and we are going to put it in the show notes because it is disgusting. There it is, just so
now-
bad.
How many miles does this have on it if it was the dude's daily driver since 1981? Like
mean-
that, it has to have like 1 million miles
I mean,
on it,
if
right?
it's a /2 motor, it literally is good for 1 million miles.
Yeah, I mean that's all.
They don't
Right,
die.
right. But the whole idea of taking a gas tank and running a gas tank totally goddamn vertically,
Yeah.
and then putting two
And
Wine bottles at the
two wine bottles at the top to dump the gas straight down. I guess it's a way to make sure your max
Giraffe
holding.
horns.
Giraffe horns.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Giraffe horns. And then Springer front end. Okay, cool. But then a 2-foot long T-bar with Z-bars on top of that to get the Z-bars up over that giant gas tank. And then a bicycle seat. And because the bike's a plunger frame, so we know that the era of the bike is 50s.
Oh yeah, no,
Right?
that is still.
So you got a plunger frame, you got a 50s motor,
Yeah.
and then what happened in the middle is just a sex crime,
Yeah.
and then the entire everything that happens north of the motor is another.
I mean, he created
Cry for help.
He created a step-through chopper.
He did create a scooter chopper.
Somebody had a vision and they made it a passport.
It is truly a step through chopper. Is what it is.
Did the owner have
Is he
stumpy
Scottish?
legs or something? Yeah,
Is he
had
wear a kilt all the time? I love the idea. He's very stumpy.
Yeah.
He had his ankles shot off in Korea. Right? Or he's wears a kilt all the time.
Sure.
But the one thing I can tell you that this bike, all the torque in the world, and that thing can't pull tail. Because any woman who sees you riding this, 100% is going to think you're on the short bus. There's just no like respecting. And he's got a historical plate on the back of it.
It is the short bus of motorcycles.
It is the short bus of motorcycles.
Honestly, dude, if you would not have known the person who got this, Dan,
Right.
This looks like
A Photoshop
AI make me a fucking chopper.
yeah.
It does. It looks like AI make me a BMW chopper.
Dr.
Yeah.
Seuss draw me a chopper.
Dr.
Yeah.
Seuss. That's another. Yeah, it does
Make
totally
a
look like
chopper
Dr.
in the
Seuss.
style of
Dr. Seuss.
Boom. That's what it's gonna be right
Oh
there,
my
dude.
god.
It looks like an R1200.
Side project will post the results.
It
Yes.
looks like an R1200C got hit by a car head on.
It just looks
Kinda,
terrible.
yeah.
And I know there are other pictures because I know when this bike came through, Larry took like 12 pictures
Yeah, I
of
think
it.
there's like 4 on the posting.
Yeah. What a fuck. What a train wreck this is. Yeah, so we'll have to link that posting out to. Oh, that's so bad.
So the only thing that might make this cool though is if this backstory, like if there's like a whole bunch of detail, like if this guy's insane and rode this thing across Alaska and fucking wherever, and you have all this back, that would be cool. Then I'd be like, okay, this eccentric weird guy had this cool adventure bike that he did all this shit with. But if it's just a bike, then yeah, it's this.
Frisco was the word I was looking for.
A Frisco style.
Yeah, Frisco
but-
style on crack.
Oh, it looks
just
worse from that
Oh
angle.
my god.
Oh my god.
I was going to say the opposite.
Terrible. You think it looks better like
Better
that?
is?
Yeah.
Pete,
You know what it reminds-
seriously?
No, it looks like a Schwinn like crate bike.
Oh,
You
it
know,
does.
tiny-
Well, the helmet on the seat kind of
Well, the
makes
Nazi helmet on the seat Just that really sends it. I got to say, very rarely will ever say it's okay to wear a Nazi helmet. But in this motorcycle, I think it's completely appropriate.
Wait, so those are 18-inch risers just to get to the handlebars?
Well, at least.
So how can that be? Wow, that has to be like a wet noodle.
Thanks to everybody at the Abate group, I now know that they're very proud of the fact that they now have gotten the motorcycle handlebar law in the state of Ohio changed from 18 inches above the seat to now your hands aren't allowed to be above your shoulders. In which case, what I can tell you is this is illegal to all of those things.
Yeah.
Because it is clearly 3.5 feet above the seat.
Wow.
But it is also well above your shoulders.
What are the chopper boys going to do now? Because all the ape hanger boys, that's the whole style
where
right
this
now.
was built, the rule is it can't be too far above the gas tank.
Ah!
And so that's why they raised the gas tank.
That makes perfect sense, John.
That's why they raised the gas tank.
That's exactly right. If in Germany or wherever this bike was built, they said your handlebars can't be more than 8 inches above your gas tank, they just raise the highest point of the gas tank.
You know what? I know how Abate is not going to like this bike anyway. You know how I know? Mm-hmm. There's a helmet involved.
Oh, you're right. You're right. There's a helmet on the seat.
Yeah. No, there's a helmet. You can't wear a helmet.
Yeah.
Helmets are fascism.
I promise you, this is just in just the parade of ugly motorcycles. This just has to win. This just has got to win.
You know, as far as static sculpture goes, it's got something.
What was the idea of the giant?
Salvador Dali looked at this and went, you know what? I would like that as a motorcycle.
What's the motivation behind the extreme negative space between the top of the motor and any part of the gas tank that you could shoot 3 bowling balls through and never hit metal?
Okay, but so are we all in the consensus that riding this, your hands are like this?
Yeah,
right?
it is
Above
one of
your
those.
head?
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Okay, so then what is the point of the mirror way up there or
the bike has to have a mirror.
windscreen?
Well, you could...
Because who's he stopping the bugs from?
The windscreen probably gets them out of having to wear glasses.
Right.
Some legal technicality.
Right.
Remember that in the 70s when people built bikes, it was all about fighting the man?
Yeah.
And if there was a law, they were like, I got around this.
Save the empire.
These dudes would be like, hey, you got to have a mirror on your motorcycle. So there'd be like a dental mirror taped to the handlebars. Like, I remember as a kid growing up in this era, it was all about, did you see the stupid law they came up with that says, I'm not allowed to have a AK-47 be in a kickstand? You know, they were just super angry.
We watched this movie about, like, truckers, like, in a convoy and then, like, ran through a toll booth. Like, that was the entire movie, was them running through a toll booth.
Well, this is a very good example of working with what you got.
You might get stabbed down here fucking with trucker culture. Those are good movies, dude.
But
hey, I grew up on that.
Bad
God, it's a fucking ugly motorcycle. God, it's so terrible.
Some dude running Coors Light in Arkansas.
Okay, all right.
It's about ready for me to go lay in bed and not
I think
sleep.
Johnny Mac's about to
We've
fall asleep.
accomplished the mission. We kept Johnny Mac alive.
No, we put him to sleep. That was the mission.
Oh, I forgot.
Right?
I
We were
did
trying to put him
not
to sleep.
understand the mission. All right. Anybody got anything else? That's it. I mean, not unless you brought one. I don't think we need one. Yeah, fuck that, dude.
No Chris Smith.
There's no Chris Smith. Yeah, Chris Smith, he bowed out early today before we got rolling, I guess.
Hey, wait, I got something real quick.
You do? Okay.
Chris Smith and I were just talking today. We figured out we're almost related.
Excuse me?
My cousin is married to Chris's cousin.
What?
I've known Chris for almost 10 years. This just came to light.
My goodness.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Somewhat incestuous.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
That's pretty good. All right, I get it.
So,
How do Jedis keep their motorcycle tires in place?
The forks.
They use the forks.
Forks.
All right, that's it, guys. Remember to ride fast and take chances. Play Cider Johnny.
Bum, 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 bum,
Sounds better this week.
Take chances. Until the speed of a coming fear crushes right fast. Take chances. Ride fast, take chances. Ride fast, take chances. Ride fast, take chances.